Let me tell a tale of a world where heroes walk among us, fighting through the darkness left by monsters and by selfish men. A tale of glory rent asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on.
Okay, how about now? Okay, sorry. Yeah, that's my fault, guys. I don't know why my OBS decided to default to a different microphone. It's like device not connected, but I'm using the same device I always am. So, guess what? We get to do it all again. Hooray! Welcome, everybody. My name is Pixel, and this is the action-packed, technologically disadvantaged 10th episode of Ages of Ainor presents the Siege of Castle Rend. As always, we're going to get into things here in just a few minutes, but before we do, I am once again going to annoy Bonus Mom by even rehashing the stuff I just said that you all already know. Rehash. First things first, guys. If you're in chat, try to remember when we go to map screens that you sometimes may see things that the players don't see. They'll usually be kind of like grayed out or semi-transparent. That's the GM layer. I hide the secrets there of what's going to come and kill the players, and please try not to spoil that, because they may be hanging out with you guys in chat, and we don't want them to know that the mecha zombie vampire overlord is just around the corner waiting to cast die or rip your face off or whatever. Because that will degrade their experience of having their face direly ripped off being a surprise. So I don't think that'll be an issue this time, but in general, remember that for us. Secondly, D&D is a complex game with a lot of rules, and we're going to add a shitload of them tonight, because we are going to be previewing for you guys the Kingdoms and Warfare rules from MCDM's book, Kingdoms and Warfare, which we are kind of back compatible incorporating into the adventure from their other book, which is the Siege of Castle Rend, out of their Strongholds and Followers book. So we got a lot of rules that we're going to go over, and stuff that is going to be pretty new to all of our players. They've not learned any of this stuff before. So for you guys and chat and them, please be patient. In general, we're improvising a story together. We're trying to have fun and play this game as a group. So we may play a little fast and loose. Adding all these crazy new rules, we may get stuff fully wrong. If you really know these rules and we screw it up, please politely let us know in chat so we can do it right in the future, but we're probably not going to go back and retcon things and stuff like that. I may forget rules entirely and make a call, whatever. If you happen to know a ruling and I'm sort of sitting here scratching my head trying to figure out what it is, you can post it in chat. But if the moment passes, we're not going to go back and fix it. Try not to lose your mind. No one ever has before, but I've heard such tales of such things on the internet. Thirdly, we want to keep this space as open and welcoming a place as we can, to the extent that that is possible on the internet. So we do try to keep that internet toxicity to a minimum. So we won't be putting up with anyone being abusive or hateful in chat, whether that's to other viewers, or that's to players on stream, regarding things like your character choices, their knowledge of the game or the rules, especially tonight, because we all learning the rules together for this one. And anything else, really. Anything else about them as people or whatever. I doubt that thing's going to be a problem here again, but we do want to be upfront with what kind of dynamic we are trying to foster here. We do want to say we have finally scheduled a couple of special events. I'll just clue you all guys in sort of the general schedule for the next month and a half or so. Curse of Strahd, all of their episodes going forward, happening as normal for the foreseeable future as far as we know. This campaign should be ending, I believe, on the next episode after this one, I think. If all goes well, fingers crossed. So that one has the potential to maybe be a longer episode for the kind of grand finale if we are trying to get everything in and finish it up. And then this campaign will be transitioning into the follow-up adventure from the follow-up book, which is called The Region of Bedegar. It's in the adventure. It's in the rules book called Kingdoms and Warfare, which is the sequel to Strongholds and Followers, put out by acclaimed tabletop game company MCDM. So We're taking a couple of weeks in the middle. We're going to have a couple of cast changes. I believe we've already let everyone know that Mackenzie and Jacob will not be returning for that just due to life circumstances. Very sad to see them go. Have had a blast with both of them. But we will be bringing in some new folks. We have one person that we know for sure we're bringing in, and then we do have one open slot that we are trying to kind of fill. So that is sort of on deck. We will be starting that adventure, we think, like the first Friday of October. So some of the Fridays in September, I'm going to be doing a level 21 shot with some folks that I've invited. And then Bonus Mom on September the 23rd is going to be doing that Channel Points Challenge. So mark your calendars down. You're not going to want to miss that. We're going to be playing the Sphere of Sunlight, which is like a level 1, level 2 adventure by James Pianka, who is a game designer that we know from way back. He has worked on Magic the Gathering. He's currently working on some video game IP and stuff like that. Super cool guy, and we're very excited to be running his adventure, which was one of the first adventures we ever ran for the Big Delians, which is our home group that kind of got all of this started like 6 years ago. So that's going to be very fun. You're going to get to see Bonus Mom DM on stream, and that should be a good time. So mark your calendars down. That will be the 23rd. My level 21 shot, if you're interested in that, will be the 9th. So coming up on that as well. Very exciting stuff. Also, final reminder that we do release the show on YouTube after each episode during the following week. I usually try to get them up by about noon on Sunday, although that doesn't always happen. So if you have to step out and miss stuff and whatever, the VOD will be here on Twitch for 2 weeks. And then after that, you can find us on YouTube. So all of our back episodes are there. If you're joining us in the middle of this and you're like, who are these people? What's going on? You can always try and catch up with that stuff as well. Super fun. So finally, before we get started, we're going to go around and cast. If you'd please introduce yourselves, remind us of your characters, and let chat know if you have chat inspiration before we begin. We will start with, of course, the one, the only, the inestimable Bonus Mom. Is she muted or is OBS? Hang on. OBS is messed up. They can't hear you guys. What is happening to my OBS, guys? I know. Okay. Try again. Thank you, Ace. Thank you guys for keeping us on track.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, they can hear you now.
Okay.
They definitely can.
I'm Bonus Mom, and I'm glad to be here.
Oh, okay. That's the Bonus Mom. Welcome, everybody. She said many clever things that are lost to time now. We do apologize. I told you this was the technologically disadvantaged 10th episode of Ages of Ainor presents the Siege of Castle Rend. Jacob, who are you? What's your deal? What's your character? Do you have chat inspiration?
Oh, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't have DM inspiration either. What's wrong with you? I've been doing some great stuff.
No, I sent a text. I gave everyone DM inspiration after the last thing. If you didn't go into Roll20 and update that.
Was that for this or Curse of
We haven't
Strahd?
played No, it was for this. We didn't play Curse of Strahd last week because we played Fall Guys instead. So I sent a text to the group. If you lost it in the wall text and forgot to go update it, that's not on me. Hi, Jacob. Sorry to interrupt your intro here. Who are you? What's your character? Do you have chat inspiration? Welcome in.
Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm furious that I've been interrupted, but I won't say anything about that.
You already did.
Even though I just said something about that. I play Soren Fairtalon, the Twilight Domain Cleric. I don't have chat inspiration, but as stated a few seconds ago, I do have DM inspiration. Please give me chat inspiration.
Don't beg.
This is a desperate beg. Please.
Well, Mackenzie, are you any less likely to beg for chat inspiration? Or what's the chat inspiration situation over there? Who's your character? Welcome in.
See, someone did thankfully give me chat inspiration, so I'm not gonna have to beg for it, unlike some other people.
Please.
But I play Fair Naref, Air Genasi Monk. I'm happy to be here and get started on all of this fighting and war mechanics.
Very good. Beast.
Yo, I am Beast. I play as Hiskers, the Tabaxi Valor Bard, and I never get tired of doing that. And I'm glad you're here. And if this is your first time, you should watch every single other episode where I do that exact same thing.
Very good.
I'm sorry. I have DM inspiration. I have not been inspired by chat. Come on, give it up.
Very good. Okay.
Please.
Jesse.
Hey everyone, I am Jesse. I am the Jokage of the Village Hidden in the Memes. You can check me out on spectrosofa.youtube.tv.com.me. So after you're done watching all of Pixel and Bonus Mom's content, you can go see me. But I will be playing the Count tonight, and very excited to get started. And come on, chat. Inspire me.
Incredible work. Taylor. Okay, hello everybody. We're back. Anna, you're not a character. You're a real human being named Taylor. Taylor, who are you and who are you playing? I wonder if it's Anna. And do you have chat inspiration?
Hi, I'm Taylor, and I play. You guessed it, Anna. I do have chat inspiration. Sorry, I didn't mean to cause stream to pause for a minute. That was my fault.
No, you're all good.
It's all my fault. It's all my fault. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, everybody's being all silly, goofy, funny tonight. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're in a hell of a mood. That'll probably change once we get into these super crunchy warfare rules, but that's all good.
No, this is where I live. This is my bread and butter.
All right. Okay, friends. Well, with that, oh, you know what? Hey, I almost forgot. I'm Pixel. It's me. You can find me here on Twitch now at twitch.tv/hammerandpixel. Or you can find me on Facebook, but I'm probably not going to be streaming as much over there. And you can also find me here, obviously, because you found me. You did it. Congratulations. Here we are, Ages of Ainor. I run the Ages of Ainor Discord as well as the Hammer and Pixel Twitch and the Ages of Ainor Twitch. I'm the GM for most of our shows here on Ages of Ainor, for the time being anyway. Welcome in. Thank you for joining us. I'm super excited that you are all here. And now, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, when last we left our heroes, they had taken Castle Rend. They had parlayed with orcs, tamed a mimic, found vast treasure, taught a mouse to speak, parlayed with ghosts, and fought ghosts to stand victorious in the ruins of a once proud keep. Baron in hiding Edmund Bedegar conferred the title of Count of Rend unto Silas Blackhand, now Count Silas Blackhand of Rend. And Willoughby Twobuckle, halfling thief, had approached the group on their first foray into Gravesford to pass along news. Pelliton is coming, and he is not coming alone. He is coming to take the keep, and he is coming for the Count and his friends, personally. Our heroes have a week to prepare, and they set themselves to various tasks. However, the goings-on at Castle Rend are not the only goings-on in the barony of Bedegar. A score of miles to the south of Gravesford sits the unassuming village of Tarreton. Slightly larger than Gravesford, Tarreton sits at the center of miles of fertile farmland. Farmland that has been burning. Not all of it. No, never that. But anyone who has raised even a single hushed word of resistance to the edicts of Lord Saxton or a single hard glance at the abuses of Sir Anglem has found their fields burning in the night and awoken to the stars blotted out by the smoke and char of their audacity. The fields of Territon are burning for the first time in a generation. For the first time since the Battle of Hagen Hill. In hushed meetings and fearful gatherings, the villagers of Territon have desperately sought a solution to their woes. And in desperation, they have turned to two men. Half-brothers. Sons of the town. Technically. A son of Oren and a son of Brenna. One cracked by defeat in battle a generation ago, not fit for society, but forged by the forest. The forest of Rend, in fact. The other, himself a blacksmith, a swordsman, a fighter, trained to smith his own blades by dwarven smith, trained in those blades by elves in distant woad, and derided in his hometown, Tarreton, as a bastard and half-orc. A public signal of failure. Yet one, the best hunter, tracker, and marksman of a generation, and it is paranoia still training the closest thing Territon has to fighting men, Orin's Rangers. The other, the only bladesman who could set steel against a Knight of the Rose. The only one with any hope of training the ragtag group of farmers to stand against the soldiers of Bedekar. And, in their desperation, they pooled the town's money to hire a band of mercenaries from Blackbottom. Soldiers of fortune. In secret, they mustered in the nearby woods. Orin's Rangers scouted the camp to the northwest. Sir Anglem, the Tier Knight, had yet to erect a palisade. He was overconfident. He didn't think simple farmers could muster any meaningful resistance. And he was wrong. 8 meager units of troops, mostly levies and untrained farmers, against trained Bedekar soldiers. But they had numerical superiority and, hopefully, the element of surprise. They marched out from Tarreton the better part of a day, spent a cold night with no fires, hiding their camp as best they could among the remaining fields, and that is where we begin this evening's tale. A half-orc man with thick, sleek, black hair, undercut on the sides and flopped over, dressed in fighting leathers with a cruel-looking rapier at his side, stands at the head of several units of farmers in mismatched equipment, some lucky enough to have a sword or shield, most with sharpened farm implements. A weathered man in torn and patched tracker's garb readies a well-kept but worn longbow. They exchange a meaningful glance as the half-orc man nods. The weathered old ranger takes a horn from his pack and sets himself with a deep breath and raises it to his lips. A blast of sound escapes the old horn, blown for the first time since it signaled retreat a generation ago in the Battle of Hagen Hill. Now it signals the charge of Territon against the brigands Bedekar calls soldiers these days. With a rush and a cry, the small host of desperate men charge forth to do war with the Tier Knight. So, that is where we begin, guys. We are actually going to be kind of diverting our attention briefly from the goings-on in Castle Rend and Gravesford to the nearby town of Tarreton. So I'm going to pop us over on the map to the Barony of Bedekar to kind of give folks a view of the shenanigans that my party has enacted on my map. Speaking of the shenanigans today. So our party is here in Gravesford and Castle Rend to the sort of middle section of Bedekar. The battle we are witnessing will be taking place here to the south in Territon, which is a larger farming village at the very southern end of the Barony of Bedekar. Bedekar Keep, of course, where Lord Saxon is the current regent usurper, is to the north, near the Wood of the Orchid Court. So that is kind of where we're going to begin. And friends, I'm going to drag the players now on, and you guys, onto our battle map for the evening. And right quick, I want to drag Beast back to where everyone else is. Hang on, Beast.
Oops.
Because you were on the wrong map the whole time. Sorry about that. Just put you back.
That's fine.
There we go. We put you back with everybody. Okay, so now you'll move as a group. Okay, friends. So you'll see this big grid. We are going to briefly kind of go over these battle rules. Essentially what these things are, they are some rules that are kind of grafted onto 5th edition to replicate the idea of large armies doing warfare. A lot of the kind of terminology is somewhat similar to how we track D&D combat. For general purposes, I will be trying to stick to using the word battle to describe this type of like warfare and combat to describe D&D combat. So that I may not always get it right, but I'm going to try to use that as sort of my general kind of nomenclature to help you guys keep track of which type of thing I'm discussing. So what we're going to do is we're going to start our deployment. So I am going to add turn orders for each of you guys. We're going to add, I'll just go in order here. Bloop. If you guys want to just roll a d20 for me in the chat, we won't use like your stats for initiative. We'll just roll the d20.
Oh, sorry, Jesse.
Oof.
I got an 8. Kenzie got a 15.
I got a 1.
Oh, okay, not S. I want Silas, please.
Jesse, you sound auto-tuned when you said that.
I got
1. Okay.
Oh, what did I get? Okay, 18. My chat box is weird. Okay.
Oh, you wired. I'm a dummy. Hang on. I need to capitalize that. Okay. Okay, there we go. So, and then I am going to add these folks. And I got to remember how. I think I've got 4 of these guys. Okay. And I guess I need to roll initiative for them as well. So I'm just going to roll 5 d20s all at once. I'm so confused, but I like the colors on the grid. Okay. So this is a this. This is a this.
Pixel, do you want me to just sort of briefly describe the board for everyone?
I mean, you can. Yeah, if you want to do that while I'm inputting initiative, that's fine.
Yeah. So everyone, you're looking at these 2 sections of grids. These represent, in abstraction, the 2 army fronts that are going to be clashing against one another. And so they kind of have, we refer to them in terms of rank as row and file in terms of column, to use the military terminology. So the first rank of the Allied deployment at basically the ranks that are closest together in the middle is the vanguard rank. That's the front lines of the 2 army that will always be face to face at the first beginning of the battle. The reserve rank is the next rank behind those, so one further away from each other. And the reserve rank is where you can actually stack units. So for these rules, you can have a theoretically limitless number of unit cards, but the only place where unit cards can take up the same amount of space stacked is in the reserve rank. The center, the 3rd rank back, is where artillery always has to start their deployment. Artillery will always deploy in the center. They cannot be put anywhere else. That's just a special thing about the center. No other types of units have that kind of restriction. The rear is the final rank of your deployment zone, and that is where you can place units to protect your center from things like cavalry attacks or aerial units like hawk riders or dragons. The different types of units, there's only really like functionally like 3 different kinds. You have infantry, your foot soldiers, people who fight hand to hand with sword and shield, stuff like that. They can pretty much go anywhere, but you're probably going to want to put them in the vanguard to protect against the enemy front, and some in the rear to protect any artillery you have from cavalry. Then you have the artillery, which have to go in the center, and those can be of 2 different kinds. You have the artillery that are foot soldiers that fight with things like crossbows or bows or javelins. And then you have what are called siege artillery. Those are your big war machines like catapults, trebuchet, ballista, and other kind of fantastic artillery pieces. Both the final 2 types of units are cavalry and aerial units, and these units do not get placed on the board during deployment. They're a little funny because they are considered mobile units and they can go wherever they want. We don't put them physically on the board. We keep them to the side to signify the fact that they're sort of constantly moving around, never in one place. Yeah, so that I think that's a good overview for everyone to sort of establish a general idea of where we're sort of heading in terms of the fight.
Okay, cool. So when we begin deployment, basically what's going to happen is we're going to go in initiative order, and whoever currently has the lowest initiative, which is going to be Silas, is going to place your first unit first. We kind of go in reverse order, and then when we start the battle, we flip it back. So Silas, if you would tell me, Beast, who is Silas controlling today? Oh, Silas is controlling cavalry, right?
It looks like, Silas, you have been assigned the Territon Cavalry.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
If you go to the...
so you actually don't have to place them anywhere. I was sorry about that, but we'll explain cavalry to you now. It's fine.
Yeah, so if you go to the journal tab where you find your character sheet and roll 20 on the side, and you scroll down, there should be a tab that says warfare units, allied units, and then you can double click on the Territon Cavalry. And let's just talk about the numbers that you see on this card. We're the first biggest number that kind of jumps out is size 6. Next to the size 6 is a nice little horseshoe symbol signifying the type of unit, it's cavalry. Size 6 means that this unit has enough people in it that it can take 6 casualties before all of the fighting force is diminished to a point where nobody can fight anymore. So these are the hit points. We refer to these as casualties because they aren't tracking the number, the amount of damage that a unit takes. It's just sort of an abstraction to assume if enough people in a fighting unit have taken enough wounds to where they cannot fight anymore, that is considered a casualty, and we decrement that to show that the unit has suffered losses. When that number gets to half, a unit is considered diminished and has to make a morale saving throw, or it takes an additional casualty. We'll find that out when the battle happens. But to go through the rest of the unit card, go to the very bottom left, and we'll start from left to right. The very first thing we have is the number 1. This is the number of attacks that you can make with this unit during its turn, which is what we call an activation. So this can attack once. When it attacks, it has a +3 to its attack roll. An attack roll in warfare is different than an attack roll in D&D combat. An attack roll in warfare always deals 1 casualty if it meets or beats the defense of the defending unit. So if an attack lands, you deal 1 damage. Makes sense? The attack is always going to be against the defense. And if an attack misses, that's it. Nothing happens. After an attack lands, another fun thing happens. You do a second type of attack roll called a power test. That is the third number, or excuse me, the fourth number in under where it says power. That +3 to the power test is a second attack roll that you're doing with this unit after a successful attack to see if that attack was particularly devastating. And if it beats the toughness, which is the next number of the other unit, you do an extra amount of casualties equal to the very next number, that 2, which is the damage. So that is the amount of damage that a particularly vicious attack successfully with a power test hits.
Yeah. So
on,
what I would say too is, like, imagine in your mind the attack test, the first attack roll is like, how organized is my unit and can it maneuver itself in to make an effective attack against engaging this enemy unit? That all, if it succeeds, it always deals 1 casualty just from getting that engagement. And then during the engagement, you're testing like the power of one group of soldiers against the toughness of the other group of soldiers. And if you succeed that, you deal additional damage. So it's
The
like,
next-
can I
yeah.
engage? And then can we like be, powerful enough to actually really hit them home?
So
like a two-step
one
process.
important thing to notice about cavalry, which we'll see the difference between the units, the power test on cavalry does 2 damage, which means if you land a successful attack, you've dealt 1 casualty. If you land a successful follow-up with your power test, that's 3 casualties. Most units start at size 6, which means you will immediately diminish them, forcing them to do a morale test or take more damage.
Yeah.
So cavalry have a really strong single hit advantage. And because they can attack any exposed units, which we'll talk a little bit more later, it makes them good at targeting weak things. The final 2 numbers in the bottom right are morale and command. Morale is the modifier that this unit uses when it has to make a morale test, like when it becomes diminished. And command is what its modifier is when it has to make a maneuver command test. Maneuvers are special actions or reactions that different units have. This unit card does not have any maneuvers, but we will see some later. This unit card does have 1 ability, which is the same ability that all of these unit cards have because it is based on the unit's ancestry, and all of these units are considered human ancestral units. All human units in these warfare rules have a trait called adaptable. Adaptable units get advantage on all morale and command tests. It is super, super good. And it makes humans particularly tough to chew away.
And it basically, you can think of that as humans are culturally very orderly compared to other species in this system. And so they, in terms of soldiering, are good at things like maintaining discipline, which is your morale checks, and, following orders, doing your maneuvers, stuff like that.
So Jesse, does that sort of make sense? Did you
Yes,
have any
absolutely.
specifics? Great.
I think I got it.
Cool.
Awesome.
So you won't have to place the Territon Cavalry. We'll leave them out here on the side this whole time. And
Okay.
you will select targets, and we'll talk about, valid target selection here in a minute. Going back up, this henchman number 3 is going to place his unit, and he is going to place a unit of foot soldiers in the vanguard. That is where he will be placing his unit. So as you guys are attacking, these guys are mustering and setting their units up, bringing us next back to Anglum, who I believe he's got archers. He's going to be placing them in the center, and he has cavalry as well, but I don't place them anywhere. And then after that, that is going to bring us to Perdita. Beast, who is Perdita controlling today?
It looks like Perdita will have control of 2 units of Gears levies.
Okay. And Perdita, I think I mistakenly told you had cavalry in this earlier. I do apologize for that. But that won't affect what you have in the next battle. But anyway.
And folks, if you are particularly drawn to one type of unit and someone is willing to trade, I'm sure we can facilitate that before the combat begins. But let's talk about levies. Levies are a really special type of unit. They are kind of like level -1 or level 0 infantry. Levies represent a really specific kind of combat unit that we've seen historically a lot in Western European land warfare, which is peasants mobilized through force or through sense of duty, or through boredom to congregate into loosely gathered fighting groups, which are poorly equipped, usually with nothing more than shirts and farming implements. They are not very good at really anything. They're not good at much. They don't have any crazy abilities. They can only be recruited for a battle, and they will immediately dissipate as soon as the battle is over. because they need to go back to their jobs and they need to go work their farms and feed their families. So levies are really useful in war because you can get them quick and cheap, and you can get 2 of them for every regular baseline vanilla light infantry unit that you could recruit. So you get a lot of bang for your buck with levies. These levies, just to run through it again real quick, tier 1, experience light, equipment light. They have
experience
no
is actually levy instead of light. Tier 1 levy light. Yeah.
They size 6. They have the little pitchfork icon next to their size to indicate that they're not professionals, but they are here to fight. They get 1 attack. They have +2 to their attack, 10 defense, +2 to power, 12 to toughness. So they can really take a lot of hits, and they can hold out for a while, despite the fact that their morale is -1. They are adaptable. So at the very least, they'll have advantage on not breaking and running.
Yeah. Okay, so Perdita, we are going to have you place... I'm going to go ahead and just say, for the sake of time, we're going to have you place both of your units. So I'm just going to drag these guys out here. This is not probably where you ultimately want to put these folks. If you want some advice, which I think you probably do, I would recommend putting 1 unit of levies in the vanguard somewhere and 1 unit of your levies in the rear somewhere.
And that is exactly what I was thinking, honest to God.
Beautiful.
Now, would they have the lining up for battle? Or do we see what the other side is doing? Like, would they feel like they needed to line up in front of the foot soldiers, or would they want to be protected, like not immediately? So
I would say you can assume that someone will put a unit there, but that doesn't mean that you have to. Does that make sense? So if you don't, one of the other units of infantry, the soldiers of fortune, or someone else's levies, someone will probably put a unit there. If you think that's a good place for your first unit of levies, feel free. I'll tell you, it's not a bad choice of where to put them.
Okay, I'm thinking there, and then I'm thinking in the rear guard, kind of in the center, so I can go from side to side. So I'm thinking that my first group of gears levies they're the ones that they want glory, and figure that if they get some glory, maybe there'll be some money that comes along with it, and they rush to the front.
Beautiful. Okay, so the
others have children at home.
That is Perdita. The next unit is going to be placed by Farron. Farron, I believe, is controlling 1 unit of Orin's Rangers.
Yeah, so I'm just going to drag that onto the edge here.
Also, before we jump into that, does everybody have access under handouts, under the Territon units? Do you have access to all the units, guys? Can you see those handouts there? Is it making sense, like where to look?
The handouts have a little bit extra info, or it might be easier to read.
The only units that I get are the Castle Rend units.
You guys are not getting the Territon units? Oh, damn. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, but I was following along on the Bedigar Cavalry.
Gotcha. Okay. Let me put these in everybody's... I thought when I showed them to you, it would put them in your thing, but I'll put them in all your journals. That's my bad.
Now.
Okay, yeah, I saw gear, but it was the wrong gear. Okay, there's the levies.
Okay.
There's the levies.
Okay, that's actually my fault. I didn't... I thought when I hit the show players button, it just put them in all you guys' journals. Apparently that isn't how it worked this time. I don't know if that's how it always works or not, but whatever. Okay, there we go. How about now? Does everybody have them now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Awesome.
All right, Beast, if you want to go ahead and talk about Rangers,
Orin's Rangers.
Artillery really is what they are.
Yeah, so Orin's Rangers, right next to that lovely size 6, you have a beautiful depiction of a bow and arrow, signifying these as an artillery, but specifically foot artillery.
Hang on, guys, Mike.
And that means that these are folks on foot with bow and arrow who are going to fight in a group and, rain arrows down where you tell them to in a concentrated fire. Artillery are really fun. They have to be placed in the center, but they can be placed anywhere you would wish. They, however, don't have to move in order to choose what they want to attack. artillery can literally choose to target whomever they want, deployed anywhere in the battle, including cavalry and aerial units who are not on the deployment zones, which makes them the perfect follow-up to a cavalry charge for just clearing out the stragglers. They're also typically have high attack values, which means that even though their power and toughness is a little squishy, they're dependable for a casualty here, there, not the big hits, but constant hits every turn to really chase and harry people.
Yeah. So strategically, we'll just kind of clue you guys in because, you know, your characters would know this even if you don't. One of the main strategies people will employ in battles like this, although it's not the only way to victory, is to try to find ways to target the enemy's archers. That could come in a lot of forms, and to protect their own archers. That could come in a lot of forms. It could come in the term of cavalry charges against infantry units in the rear to try to, because if you can clear out all of the units from the rear, the center will become valid targets. It could look like your archers helping your cavalry do exactly that. It could look like your archers targeting the enemy's archers to deal extra casualties to them in the meantime. Or it could look like, if you're going to focus on more of a frontal assault strategy, kind of everyone putting all their eggs in the basket of like a frontal charge, and your cavalry and archers supporting your infantry units, just like driving up the center towards the archers. There's a lot of ways to sort of approach it.
We should actually describe how you win a battle.
Okay.
For folks.
Well,
I think that might be good for strategy, but maybe until after the...
Yeah, let's do that after we finish discussing deployment. Don't let us forget, guys. If we try to move on without saying how you win the fight, please stop us, because we might. It's our first time teaching other people these rules that we also just learned ourselves like 2 weeks ago. So
Farron, please feel free to move your copy of Orin's Rangers to wherever you would like within the center rank.
And can everybody see the player names on the bottoms of these cards? Yes, good. Okay.
I am going to do second from the left because my first thought was like, if I have to be center, why not do center? But that could also be the thought of the other folks. Center. So I do 2 from the left.
Create a pocket. Excellent strategy.
Okay. And then Roz, you will be next. Roz is controlling your mercenary group, the Soldiers of Fortune.
And we know where they're going. Front and center, baby. Paid good money for them, so they better perform. That's all I'm saying.
Excellent.
The Soldiers of Fortune are, I think, the only true infantry professional soldier unit on the side of Territon. They are also the only tier 2 unit. So we can just very briefly touch on that. Units have tiers. The tier of the unit generally describes its power. So an army with high tiered units is very dangerous because those specific units are basically a match for multiple of lesser units. However, the tier of units are maxed out, sort of like a pyramid. An army can only support the high level units with multiples of lower levels of them. We don't have to talk about that. So much as to say that these guys have a few special abilities because they are professional soldiers who have survived multiple fights.
Yeah.
This is the first company that has a maneuver. As I was saying, a maneuver is an action or reaction special ability that you can take that usually is triggered by something in the battle. In this case, their maneuver is called Into the Breach, which is a maneuver that all infantry have, including levies. As a reaction, when this unit successfully executes a follow-up maneuver, which is another maneuver that we need to talk about, this unit gets +2 to defense until the beginning of its next activation, which is what we call turns in warfare. we will see maneuvers in action, so I'm not going to harp on that. Let's move on.
Okay. Hang on. Okay. Let's see. So we have placed our soldiers of fortune. They are going to be front and center. That brings us to Soren. Soren, you have, I believe, 2 units of Gears levies as well.
Yes.
At your
That's
disposal.
Right. That's right. And
The teeming horde.
in all my wisdom, have an idea.
Okay.
We pan across this battlefield full Braveheart style and see tons of farmers with no idea what they're doing standing shoulder to shoulder with a collection of mercenaries who do have an idea what they're doing.
I don't want to give you too much advice here necessarily.
Tell me if I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, well, I do want to say, if you guys don't put any units, so let me just start here. If a rank, is it a rank? If a rank, so a Vanguard Reserve
yes.
Center, whatever, if it has no units in it, the rank collapses, which basically means it doesn't exist anymore, and you move all the other units to fill that space, right? So if nobody puts
like
any
Tetris
units,
rules.
if nobody puts
Okay,
any
cool.
units in the reserve, then your reserve rank collapses and you guys have one less rank of units, and that's probably bad because it makes it easier for your archers to be made vulnerable.
Okay.
It-
Well,
it
it's good
shortens
news
the
because my
distance.
plan was to put my second set of levies in the reserve, right there behind the Soldiers of Fortune.
Very good.
Is that from someone who may know a little bit more on this than me, like Beast?
Yes.
Is that a tactically sound move?
This is a good point to talk about the follow-up maneuver. Follow-up is a maneuver which is a reaction that all infantry have. If you go to Gears Levies or it's the Soldiers of Fortune card, I think it might be on there. If it's not, it is in the handout that I made. Not to harp on that so much. I'm just really proud of it. It is a reaction that your infantry units can take when a unit which is opposed to them, which means adjacent, typically in the front, moves away from them. As a reaction, they can fill the gap. If they pass a DC 8 command test, which again, because all of these units are human, they have the adaptable trait, which means they get advantage on command and morale tests. So it's a very successful way to, if Soldiers of Fortune moves forward like this,
The levies can just move up to...
as a reaction, can fill the gap.
Beautiful.
Yes. So we can create a marching column of ragtag kinfolk who are desperate to fight for their farmland.
Beautiful. Then should I put the
the Vanguard levies that I have behind Perdita's levies so that we can just have a full march-in line, or should I actually hold on? We as levies have lower defense than you guys do as Soldiers of Fortune. So I actually think I'm going to defend the other levies.
That's a good idea.
So that they can't get flanked by cavalry, right? They aren't open.
And just keep in mind, England's foot soldiers are professional, so they will almost certainly beat a one-on-one against the Gears levies.
And I will say, I think any unit in the Vanguard is technically exposed, but let me look up those rules on exposure.
Yes, that's correct. The entire Vanguard and the entire rear are considered exposed. However, and in the reserve ranks...
Wait. No, hang on. I'm going to post this in chat for you guys.
Because I think there's a rule that if you have
you're
at
right,
least one
Jacob.
unit in the rear...
Yeah, so all units in the rear are always exposed. However, in the Vanguard, you're right. If you put your unit there, Soren, Perdita's unit is not exposed. But the Soldiers of Fortune are exposed.
Gotcha.
So the cavalry would not be able to target that other group of levies.
It's only the units which are closest to the edge of the deployment, I guess, are exposed.
Except in the rear, where everything is always exposed.
Right.
So,
thank you for that.
You are right. Yeah. So glad I looked that up, but yes. Okay.
And I feel like the Soldiers of Fortune would be able to take an attack from from a cavalry charge better than a levy would. So I'm going to try and defend Perdita's side of the levy.
This is another great opportunity to learn about another maneuver that all infantry have.
Yeah, and I actually, guys, I've just added another handout called Common Maneuvers, which is going to go at the top of this warfare unit thing. There are a few maneuvers that are available to all instances of certain kinds of units or just all units in general. I have put those in that handout. So rally, set for charge, withdraw, and retreat are the ones that I could find easily. I forgot to make these before and was hurriedly doing this while everyone was watching.
I have them. Rally, follow up, set for charge, withdraw, and retreat. Those are the 5
follow
common.
up. Okay, that's one of the ones that I don't think I put in there. So let me track it down. While you explain the thing, I'll follow.
What I'm about to explain is the set for charge, which is an infantry reaction, which as a reaction, if an infantry unit suffers a casualty from a cavalry or aerial unit, it can make a DC 13 command test to set for the charge. It will still take 1 casualty, but it will also deal 1 casualty to the attacking unit. So this is a great way to at least trade your pawns, so to speak.
Yes.
Can I just say that I'm so bummed that I'm not going to be here for the follow-up campaign, which I presume will have more of this, because this already
is so good,
super fun. Just like the tactical and the like imagining.
Let's take just a second real quick. I want to check in. How's everybody doing? Is it like this is overwhelming? Okay. This sucks. I hate this. Or is everybody like, no, this seems fun. We'll get used to it. Because I want to give you guys an opportunity. Yes. You and I guess and chat.
Everyone.
But you know, mostly I'm concerned about my players who are my dear friends who I want to be having a good time.
Right.
This is really cool. I think Beast is doing a great job at explaining everything.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm super excited.
I've dreamed about this.
VIP.
No, I'm not even joking. I did this. Oh gosh, I did this at work. This is my note, my physical guide to the warfare rules. Just in case I was curious and I wanted to build a unit on the fly because I'm weird. I love this stuff. Let's keep going.
Okay.
Everyone understands maneuvers. Mostly they are reactions. If they are not reactions, they'll be on the unit card. We don't have any of those here today, so let's not worry about that.
Yeah. Because we tried to keep it, it's crazy complicated, but we actually did try to keep it kind of simple. Things will get a little more crazy in the next fight, and then as we go forward in the next adventure, stuff will continue to sort of ramp up. Okay, that brings us to Anna.
Yes, Trish. Sorry.
Yes, Trish.
I just want to say that I believe that I'm going to learn a lot more about this when it starts to be enacted in front of me.
Yes.
So I am eager to get to that point because when we do, and it's my turn, you're going to have to tell me every bit of that again as I move through it. So,
and we definitely will.
Anna,
happy to.
It is your turn to place. You are controlling a unit of Orange Rangers. And your unit is, it has to go in the center, but you can put it anywhere in the center you would like.
Okay. So I'm thinking over here to protect our levies guys. Can the Rangers, I mean, they can hit from anywhere, wherever, right?
Right.
Or is it, okay.
Yes.
But they can only be hit by cavalry cavalry units, which we don't have to worry about aerial. There's no aerial units. They can only be hit by cavalry if the Perdita's levies in the rear goes away.
Oh, I do too.
Or if the Gears levies in front of them is also somehow broken. But for now, both Orange Rangers, both Farron's and Enna's Rangers are safe.
Okay, cool. I think I'm cool with that. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, page 105, because there is something about what it takes to expose the center.
The center can only be exposed if there are no more infantry remaining in the rear.
Let me look up. Okay.
Anywhere in the rear or immediately behind them?
It just anywhere. As long as you have one unit of infantry in any position in the rear, the center is not exposed from the rear. They can be exposed from the front, but you only need one gaggle of folks in the back to kind of keep them a watchful eye on them. Ooh.
Oh my gosh. My thing is being wacky. Hold on.
Yeah, and his rangers are running away.
I know. They get hold on.
Are your rangers running? Well, you better go catch them.
Oh my gosh. No, stop. There we go. I fixed it. My thing was being all wacky.
Okay.
It's okay. We love wacky here.
Units in the centers, units in both its rear and anywhere in its front. Okay, yes. Okay, I got you. Yeah, we're good. Okay, let's talk about how you win. That thing I said, don't let us go on without talking about. Let's do that. Let's do that.
How do we win? Let's go back to what I was talking about, the tiers of units. You win when your army's point value, which equals the number of tiers of all of your units added up. So tier 1 units are worth 1 point. Tier 2 units are worth 2. Very easy. We add up all of the points for all of the units from both armies. When after each turn, when we get to the top, we count up the number of points on both sides. If one side has twice the points as the other, they win the battle. So it's all about getting rid of units. You want to hit a unit hard. You want to chase it off the battlefield. You don't want it to be able to rally. And if it does rally and come back, you have to clear it out again so that you can remove the points from the other team.
Yeah. And I will also just tell you guys, you may have noticed mathematically, I believe you have 8 units to their 6, so you have an advantage, but they have more infantry and you have levies, so your levies are not as good as their infantry, but you have managed to rally just a superior number of people. So when Beast and I ran this, it was a relatively okay matchup. The dice will really determine a lot of what happens, and you guys tactically as well. Okay. Does the win condition make sense for folks?
Yes.
Basically, it's based on unit points. Higher tier units are worth more points. That doesn't play a huge role because there's only one tier 2 unit on each side right now. So, okay. My henchman number 4 gets to place his unit of Englam's foot soldiers.
Protocol stuff for rolling these tests. The best way that we found to do it is to use the dice roller on the top left and roll 2d20s every single time you roll. That's important because if your attack roll hits, which will be that first roll we'll take, if that attack succeeds, we'll just use the second roll for your power test. It'll save a ton of time. And we're going to be rolling all of our command and morale tests with advantage because we're all human units with the adaptable trait. So every time you use a maneuver, you're going to roll with advantage. Roll 2d20s every single time. Cool?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Very good.
I say we
start
the meat grinder.
So you guys are the attackers in this case. And what that means mechanically for you, and I'll clue you in, it will be the opposite. So don't get used to it. It'll be the opposite when we go to the next battle, which won't take place today. It'll be on the final episode where you guys are defending Castle Rend from Sir Pelliton. Any unit in the Vanguard, which is going to be your Soren, Perdita, and Roz each have a unit in the Vanguard. Any unit in the Vanguard, when we actually do initiative, or when we start the battle, which is about to happen, you get to make an extra. Yes, you get a free activation to represent your unit, like bringing the charge. So as all these units set up and charge and do their thing, units in the Vanguard get an activation that will happen in initiative order, but it's kind of like a surprise round almost. Also, I'm going to turn on a little bit of like battle music.
Wait a second. One of the Englam's foot soldiers was moved.
Yeah, I moved him.
But he deployed in turn order.
No, I meant to deploy him there.
Okay.
But
I'm saying we made deployment decisions based on his.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Yep. Nope. You're right. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. You're right. Yeah. I just.
Thank you, Beast.
You're welcome.
Shady lady.
It was an accident. I got him confused with the other guy. Okay.
Do you see these viewers? Do you see what we're working with?
The soldiers of fortune over here. Oi, they're cheating.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was. You're right. That was my bad. I got them confused with the other guys behind him.
Yeah, that happens.
It does happen. Okay, they all have the same name. All right.
Eric McTripledipper, the commander of the leftmost Gears levies, looks on the battle. Those folks are cheating.
Okay, there's a thing. There is a thing I was actually trying to do, which is to look at.
Cheat. I mean,
It's okay, Chad. I caught him.
did he freeze or he's
No,
just?
I'm trying to find. There's a spot in this thing where it actually tells me, like, okay, when you're ready to run this thing, like, here's the order of how things go, and I just want to make sure I have that pulled up. Okay.
Well, thank God I don't have to go for a long time. That's all I gotta say. You and me, Jesse, we're gonna learn a lot before it gets to be our turn.
Hey, I'm happy. I'm on horsies, so.
Yeehaw.
Silas is riding Stinky, who is not a warhorse at all. It's
Not
the only horse
Stinky.
out there that is actively shitting itself.
It just leaves a trail behind it wherever it goes in the battlefield.
It's okay, Stinky. Stop. It's like that tiny horse from Elden Ring that Radon is on, just like skinny and malformed.
What doesn't it have a? What's its name?
My thought was, if anyone here has played Castle Crashers, the deer in Castle Crashers that propels itself
Oh my
forward.
gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, I'm not finding.
If there are any
Leonard.
questions from audience members, feel free to throw them into the chat. I also made a Google Doc that is sort of like a condensed version of the rules that's just fast and nasty that I can share in the Discord for everyone.
By the way, Radon's horse name is Leonard.
Really?
Leonard, that's
Wait,
right.
Real?
Yes.
Yeah, its name is Leonard. Yeah.
How's it spelled? Is it spelled weird or is it
No,
just
it's
Leo?
just Leonard.
No, it's like
Yeah.
Leonard, like Leonard Skannard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, actually, Leonard Skinner's spelled with a Y in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's Leonard, like the name Leonard. Yeah.
Okay,
Like-
here it
like
goes.
Nimoy.
Seizing the initiative. There we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, it took me forever to find this. This PDF is massive and slightly busted, basically. The army that defends its domain gains the benefit of fortifications. There's no fortifications in this one to keep things simple. The army that attacks has more flexibility and is said to seize the initiative. All units in that army's vanguard rank get a free activation at the start of battle. While the attacking army is tanking its activation, the defending army can use reactions only. So that, guys, is where we are going to start. Is with our attacking armies. Soren, you are up first. So your group of Gears levies in your vanguard gets the first initiative here. So you guys have kind of deployed and you've brought the charge. You have a free space in front of you. Yeah, what would you like to do with your dudes?
Let's talk about movement, which we didn't talk about yet.
Sorry, my bad.
We have deployed. We know that cavalry don't deploy on the field because they're constantly moving. So how does everything else move within this thing? Every single unit has one movement. That's just understood, which is why it's not on the unit cards. Only special abilities will give units multiple movement points. So we don't need to worry about that. Every single time that you have an activation, which is your unit's turn, you can do one move and one attack. You can do a move and a move, which is called marching, or you can do an attack and activate an ability. We don't have any abilities. So you can move, attack, or just attack and stay still.
All
and
right.
the Rangers move so they have to
Yes.
stay in the center, but they can move side to side.
They can move side to side and back and forth. They do not have to stay in the center. They only have to deploy there. And they have a special reaction called withdraw, which lets them back up a space if they get attacked and they succeed a maneuver check, a command test. We'll talk about that if it happens.
Okay.
But
And
also, we
other
will say
infantry
generally you
units-
don't need to move the archers much unless things are going real bad for you. But we'll get there when we get there. Sorry,
Okay.
Soren, go ahead.
And clarifying, infantry units can move. Can they also, if the side is open, they can move to the side, or can they only move in their rank?
No,
You
they can move left and right.
Okay, cool.
Cardinal directions only, no diagonals.
Right.
Forward, back, left, right. That's
And
it.
infantry also
Easy peasy.
can only attack in those directions. You can't
Correct.
make diagonal attacks.
Yep. Okay, cool. Well, I think the valuable move here, there's no equivalent of like a dodge action or like fortifying or anything here, right? I can't
Nope.
like batten down the hatches and defend myself.
And we are attacking, so there's only one course of action.
Beautiful. Yep. Then I am moving forward into their vanguard and I am attacking to the right on Anglem's foot soldiers.
Beautiful. You love to see it.
Eric McTriple Dipper leads his troops with a valiant charge. And I roll 2d20, yeah?
Yep.
Yes, please.
So,
And yeah, let's
All
see.
right.
7 and an 18.
okay. Okay, so the 7 does not beat the Anglem's foot soldiers defense, which is 12. Because your gears levies
My
have
levies
what,
only get a plus
2. So that'll be a 9 all day, which does not beat their defense. So you attempt to attack the foot soldiers, but your attack is not successful.
We have not breached their defenses.
Yeah. So that is Soren's Vanguard's free activation. Roz, your activation is next.
All right, boys, we've been paid good coin. Let's kick some Saxton booty. The soldiers of fortune are going to attack.
Okay.
And that's awful.
Oof. Oh no.
The soldiers of fortune, I believe, have a +3 or +4 to attack. That does not.
Yeah, still doesn't get it. You
12.
need a +7. So.
All right, boys. Next time, it redo mulligan.
Okay. And then Perdita is the next person in initiative with anyone in the Vanguard. Perdita, it is your turn to activate at this point you get to activate one free time of your levies that are currently in the Vanguard. Your rear levies will not activate. So you basically have one good choice here, and it's to attack the guys in front of you.
You have one option, which is for your levies here to attack these guys here.
Well, seeing what's happening with the other levies, the leader of my pack, Homer Stoma, says, "Golly!" And he says, "Come on, boys, let's go for glory." And he rolls. Oh.
Oh man. This is going to be a long battle if no one can roll higher than a 10.
Watch all the enemy will roll 20s and they'll demolish us.
Okay, so that takes us to the end of the free activation, and we now enter true initiative. So Henchman 1's unit of Anglem's foot soldiers get to roll their activation. The only valid thing they have, probably the best choice that they get to make, they are going to attack Gears levies to their left, which is going to be Soren's unit. Hang on.
Come on, Trippy Dips.
Oh, God. Okay. So that is 2 casualties on Soren's unit. Everybody, the green bar above your health tracks the unit HP, the casualties. So what you can do is click on your unit, click in the green circle, and just hit minus and like the number of casualties you took, and the program will do the math for you. Alternatively, you can click it and just put in the new number. So if I clicked one of these guys and just put in 4, it will overwrite his HP.
Oh my God, I never knew you could put in a subtraction and it would do. I've been doing math for so long on Roll20 for huge damage rolls.
You know that when you like click into it, it actually comes up with a pop-up that tells you that, right?
I had no idea.
It's right here. Look at it. Everyone on. I would like to show the courtroom. Please note, members of the jury.
I don't click that. I click it and I just get to like enter the new number.
You must have clicked "Don't show this again" before you knew what it was.
Oh no!
Classic mistake.
Listen, hey, I guess you should have come to my Ages of Ainor Discord Roll20 GM tutorial yesterday,
It was
where
very informative.
I taught people that. Okay, so you take 2 casualties. God, all right. Next is henchman number 2. Henchman number 2 has the guys in the back, and I think they're actually going to move over here. I think that's their plan. Henchman number 4. God, these guys roll crazy good initiative. Soldiers of Fortune, they are coming at you. I've got 2 D10s.
Bring it on.
2 D20s. God.
Oh, okay, now we get to talk
Natural
about
20.
crits. This is fun. This is really fun.
Oh, Jesus. Anglin was readier for you than you thought. The element of surprise was not as powerful as you had hoped.
It was a ruse. So a crit is obviously going to always be a successful attack. That's a rule. These are rules that Ages of Ainor is made up, by the way. The crit rules for Warfare don't exist.
Yeah.
MCDM did not write them. This is flavor that Pixel and I came up with because crits are fun.
Yeah, so just a heads up that this is not rules. If you're watching this later, if you found us on YouTube because we're doing MCDM stuff, we looked at the fact that there were no crit rules in this and we said, fuck no, we want crits, baby! And so we hacked together some stuff that we think is fair.
So what happens on a nat 20 is that attack roll always succeeds, which means it will always deal that single casualty, but it will give you advantage on your power test because it was a particularly strong and successful attack. So roll us one more D20.
Okay, that is a 14 all day.
Which I really wish this was one of RPC's units, but
I'm so
14,
sorry, guys.
I believe, meets the Soldiers of Fortune's toughness, which means that they will take an additional casualty. Another crit rule that might come up, if you get a crit on a power test, what we have decided is that it will force a morale test, which is slightly tougher than a normal one of being diminished at DC 15, which gives you the ability, the chance to deal an additional casualty from scaring the crap out of how powerful your hit was.
Yeah. And it basically is like the crits mean 2 different things, right? If you crit on an attack roll, it means you get advantage on your power test. If you crit on the power test, which is really the kind of important one, they take a morale check or they do extra casualties. So.
And special rule, crit on both, you deal double casualties for the entire hit.
Yeah. Which is like really, really rare, but if you get that, you can wipe somebody out. So let's hope I don't ever do that to you, huh?
So the Soldiers of Fortune will unfortunately take two casualties.
And that, however, brings us to Enna's archers.
We're not getting paid enough.
Okay, so you said archers can only hit forward, back, left, and right?
Archers can shoot anyone they want in this whole battlefield, and the world is your oyster. Let them have it. You don't have to move anywhere. You just get to take aim and let them fly.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to hit the Anglin foot soldiers and the vanguard, the ones in between the levies and the other soldiers.
These guys, the sort of surrounded guys? Cool. Great choice.
Okay,
so you're going to roll 2 D20s. The first one will be your attack roll.
Oh, my
Second will be your power test. Now, what is Orange Ranger's attack?
I believe it's +3.
+3 attack. Yeah, +3.
11.
That's just shy. Damn it. So you take aim and let fly, and Anglim's foot soldiers, unfortunately, are just able to maneuver well enough, get their shields in place. The attack does not land home.
Why
Guys,
did we
I'm
let
so
these
sorry.
people pay us? They can't hit the broadside of a band.
Okay, Soren, you are up. You are up now, baby. What you got?
Eric McTriple Dipper looks at his slightly, moderately heavily wounded forces and says, "We can't give up now. Time for the second charge. Charge!" And makes his second attack.
Okay.
Hey, 19.
19 will hit. And what is your power?
Power is +2.
Oh,
That's
baby,
12
both
meets the
are
toughness.
successful. The tides are turning. So Anglim's foot soldiers will take 2 casualties on that. Very
Excellent.
good. You
Beginner's
can,
luck.
Soren, you can do something with your gears levies, your other ones. If you want to move them, you can leave them there. It doesn't, it's up to you. But I do want to remind you have them.
It's going to be a chunky fight. I think you need to move around the Soldiers of Fortune.
Yeah. We can rapidly across the field from a bird's eye view to this second pile of levies. Standing at the front line, Eric's twin brother, Derek McTriple Dipper.
No.
This is going too slow, boys. We gotta go to the side. Around the mercenaries.
And they move to the right.
And
Okay.
do keep in mind that because you can use 2 single movements as a full activation for a march.
Oh, gotcha.
But if
And
you
they
move
don't-
out of the reserve, your reserve will collapse. So
oh,
just be
fuck
aware.
yeah, they do have to stay in the
But-
reserve.
Well, they don't have to.
They don't have to stay in the reserve.
I don't want to lose the reserve.
If we lose the reserve, that's a problem. I will say this, though. Tactically, our front is much wider than the enemy, and it would be very difficult for them to get around us, even with 1 less rank.
Oh no. Oh, I don't know. What do you guys think? I guess this is really up to Derek McTriple Dipper.
Yeah, what
it's-
would
it's
Derek
up to
McTriple
Derek.
Dipper do? What?
Derek does not have a
Soren-
mindful strategy.
Soren, what would Derek McTriple Dipper do?
Derek, we flash back to Derek's childhood, where he is sitting in a schoolroom and his teacher looks over him and says, "Derek, you have the worst mind for tactics and strategy I have ever seen. However, your penmanship is flawless." And we smash cut back to modern Derek, who moves forward and lets the reserve collapse.
Okay, so your reserve has collapsed. What that basically means is we move everybody forward, and your rear now no longer exists.
Oh, something happened to Anna's Rangers.
Did something happen?
Did something happen? They look fine to me.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
gone
Yeah.
from my...
No,
That's
still
weird.
there.
I see them. That's weird.
Wow, they completely disappeared from my screen. Okay, that's weird.
That's weird.
I'm going to refresh.
That's probably a good move.
Orin's Rangers vanish in a quantum flash from 1/5 of reality.
And they're back. Okay.
Okay, so
Just
your
my
rear
weird
now
area.
no longer exists. We will just block it out. Okay, very good. But but Gears levies are making a break for it. They're going to try to flank. Anglim's foot soldiers on the other side, box them in. Let's see if it pays off for him. Cotton Roz, Soldiers of Fortune. What you got?
Only one thing left to do. Chew through these foot soldiers. And that is going to succeed both times. Boom, boom.
Yeah, so the Soldiers of Fortune steel themselves after their less than stellar initial turn, and they refuse to let themselves. They see the successful attack by the other set of Gears levies. They see the other levies attempting to flank, and they say to themselves, "Boys, we can't let it go down like this. We got to step up the game." And they charge into the mouth of hell.
We get to split it less ways.
Yeah. All right. That is Roz's activation. Farron, your archers are up next. You can attack anyone on the board, including the cavalry if you want.
I think I'm gonna go for the second from the left, the Anglim's foot soldiers, and
Yeah. Bully them while they're down.
just yes.
Yeah, do it.
Beautiful. All right, Orin's Rangers. Make your rolls.
20s.
Oh.
What is
Orin
happening?
Oh,
Yeah.
man. The dice are cruel tonight.
We were supposed to bring bowstrings.
I got this pack of dental floss I ain't never used. Think that'll do? All right. Okay, that brings us back to Perdita. Your sets of gears levies will get to move as you wish.
Okay, and because I have left the levees in the back, which is now the center, there's not anything they can do except keep the back from collapsing.
Pretty much, yeah. If they leave that row, what's going to happen is the Bedegar cavalry will be able to start attacking your reserve.
But do they have a move? But I guess like moving behind them doesn't really help because nothing is going to come up from the back, right?
The only thing
not,
that will
yeah.
come up from the back or can come up from the back is the enemy cavalry.
Yeah. The only threat that they theoretically could face is if the enemy decides to like intentionally collapse their rear and try to just have this group of foot soldiers like force march and force march and force march and charge, and you know what I mean? It would never work. That's too far.
It would take too long.
It would take 6 rounds to
just
get there.
briefly tell me though, what is the purpose then of being sure you always have somebody in the rear guard?
It's to make sure that the Bedegar cavalry can't just roll up and fuck up your archers.
Protect these guys.
Because even though there's no one in these two spots, as long as you have somebody in the rank behind the archers, which is considered your rear, the cavalry can't attack the archers. So, like, basically, the cavalry can't attack the archers until these guys either move or die.
Okay.
Right. So.
Alrighty. That explains it. So I'm just moving for one levy right now.
Yep.
And so seeing what's happening in front of him, Homer spits his tobacco out to the side and says, "Let's go, I'm getting hungry." And he attacks Anglin's foot soldiers that are directly in front of him.
All right, let her rip.
Oh, man.
No, that's going to do it.
That's going to do it.
Let me get my... Wait, now I want to do this.
Yeah.
So I get to add a 2. So that's 13. And their defense is a 12. So
yes,
it
ma'am.
hits.
100%.
Okay.
Something very special happens.
So now...
Before
that happens. No, we're sorry. Before you move on. Yes. Correct. Yeah.
So, so Homer's attack, he's rallied his folks. They crush in a few skulls of the Anglin's foot soldiers. They take 1 casualty, reducing them to 3 out of 6 casualties.
Okay. Got it.
Now they are diminished because they have gone to half casualties. They are now diminished, which means that they have to make a DC 13 morale test or take an extra casualty from people freaking out and running away.
Okay.
So, why don't Trish, why don't you roll their morale check?
No, I'm sorry, I'm gonna roll it. I know that it's fun to roll dice, but
I thought it would be more fun if she did it.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna roll it. Sorry.
He wants to have a little fun, okay?
So fun.
Okay, so they have advantage because they're adaptable. That is a 14. I believe that beats the DC 13. They do not take an additional casualty from
These
that.
are professionals, and they're not just going to run because a bunch of bumpkins bashed in their heads.
However, now we do the power test.
So
which
I have
you've
a
rolled.
13 plus a 2 for the power, so it's 15.
And that will further.
And their toughness is 12.
Yes. So also, everyone, a unit only makes that morale test when they take the casualty that diminishes them. So they don't continue to make the morale test. Once they've made it, they are basically not making that morale test to not get further casualties. It's like it happens one time when they get diminished, and then if they make it, they're clear.
Right. Unless it's triggered by an ability.
Right.
So you mean they don't take another one from
No, they do. They do. So what I'm saying is a unit only has to make the morale test of the diminished
when it becomes diminished.
One time when it becomes diminished. So once a unit is already diminished, even when you inflict further casualties, they don't have to keep making morale tests.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that makes sense. But you do
it's
still
just an inciting event.
Yeah.
So they're down to 2 now.
They're down to 2. So they're looking real rough.
Correct.
They're having a bad day. That's probably Perdita. Any final movement from anybody, or you're good?
Well, Homer did stick in another plug.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that brings us to Anglem. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to have the Bedegar Cavalry attack. The Bedegar Cavalry is actually going to attack Gears levies in their own vanguard.
They're coming for Eric.
They're coming for Eric.
You won't be the first.
Okay, so they get a +3 to attack and a +2 to power. I'm going to go ahead and roll those d20s. God!
Oh my god, are you serious?
roll another d20.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god. I really hope this is, if this is another d20, I feel so bad.
Oh, so close.
Oh my
Jesus.
god.
No, man. Okay,
We do
so
have
Way
to
to
roll the
tease.
diminished check, though,
Yeah.
and if
So-
we fail it,
yeah. All right, so you take 1 casualty, Gears levies, from the attack roll,
yeah,
and then I need your morale test.
and I get advantage because
You
we're
get
human.
advantage because you're humans.
Oh dear. That's a 10 plus
15.
-1. That's a 9.
Yep, that's a 9, so you fail.
Oof.
So you take 2 casualties, and then cavalry does 2 damage. You take 2 more casualties.
Oh, as a reaction to taking a casualty from cavalry, you can,
We can
set
make
for
one
charge.
last
You can
strike.
one last set for charge, boys.
Eric looks
Eric,
across
what do
the
we do?
battlefield
They're
at all of
coming
his
for us, Eric. I'm
fallen
scared.
brethren, and he sees the horse charging
Oh, no.
him.
Eric
and
had a
Eric
good
picks
crop
up his
this year.
pitchfork and makes a DC 13 command check
You advantage on this from being adaptable.
with advantage.
Oh no!
My teacher always said I was bad at war, and then the
Rip.
sword comes down and lops Eric's head off. And we pan across the battlefield to Derek, who clutches
Oh my
his chest in
God.
sadness.
Okay, so yeah, Gears levies, guys. They also I'm gonna indicate diminished with this little yellow circle, and we're gonna indicate broken with this. Broken actually doesn't mean everyone's dead necessarily, although Eric can die if you like that narratively, but it does mean that the unit has taken enough casualties that they break and run. So we are actually going to put Gears levies over here in your sort of like timeout box, and they have no casualties left. Now when it's your
Sorry.
turn again, you can attempt to make a morale test or a command test, morale test, right?
It is well, it's the rally maneuver.
This is a rally maneuver, which
but
requires
it is a morale test.
you can
It's a
attempt
DC
to make
13.
a DC 13 morale test on your turn, Soren.
It's so
to rally the
next
unit.
turn. The start of that when a unit is broken, it's removed, but it's sort of set to the side where the cavalry are so that we don't forget about it. Its turn comes up again. It gets a chance to come back to regroup for Eric and Derek's cousin, Merrick, to pull enough folks together that they can come back with 1 casualty as a unit, or if they get an at 20 on their roll, 2 casualties.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, Buns is asking if he can give inspiration. I will let everybody know, yes, you can give inspiration in this fight. People are welcome to use that inspiration in this fight if they choose, or you can save it for your actual character later or for the next fight, whatever. You don't have to use it in this because it's kind of a tutorial battle, but if you would like to, feel free if you get chat inspo. So. Okay, so that is the cavalry charge. That takes out 1 unit of the levies. Next is Anglem's archers. So Anglem's highly trained archers are going to take aim, and I think they are going to attack the soldiers of fortune. Is probably their best bet.
Now, how many attacks do Anglem
They actually
archers
get 2 attacks.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. So they're pretty nasty. They're highly trained, tier 2 unit, and they are gonna make. So we're gonna make the first attack one at a time. First attack coming at you. What's their to hit bonus? Is a +7. So 6 + 7 is 13.
Yeah.
Soldiers of Fortune's a 14, so it doesn't hit.
Barely.
Very close. So Anglian Archers take aim, and the
Shields
Soldiers
up,
of Fortune,
boys.
shields up, boys, barely
Use the
get their
bodies of
shields
the
in.
dead.
Yep. And then we're going to roll again. They are going to attack the Soldiers of Fortune again. 13 plus 7 is 20, so that is going to hit.
My knee.
So, Soldiers of Fortune, I need that morale test.
Oh, here we go.
Advantage is a nat 20.
Nice.
I'm going to say, I don't know. I feel like maybe with a nat 20 on that. What should we do something for a nat 20 on those morale tests?
You know,
Yeah, you get one back.
Yes, you get one back.
You get one back.
I almost think, yeah, like you reform your unit a little bit. I think that's no. Let's just say this on a nat 20 on a morale test to diminish your unit is just not diminished. Instead, it's like they just don't take that casualty. You know what I mean?
I would say that's a great idea for a rule, but it is unfortunately one of the unit abilities in the Kingdoms of Warfare rule.
It is, and I say we just use it. I don't know, because I think certain things. Oh, it already is the rule, isn't it?
That's exactly an ability. I forget what it's called. I think it's called Relentless or something.
But I think I don't think it's a nat 20. I think they get to make it
to basically get a chance to not be diminished. But I love that rule. I think that's a great rule, and I think chat would agree. Sound off in chat if you agree.
What's it called? You think it's Relentless?
I think it might.
The orcs have it for Bedegar, yeah, it's
come on.
I was looking at it earlier.
I have read these rules so much.
It all blurs together.
For Relentless, they make a DC 13 power test.
Test.
For this, I think a
oh, and that's actually on breaking. That's on breaking, not diminished.
Okay.
Oh.
There is one for diminished.
Yeah, there is.
We don't have to look for it.
Yeah. So you're simply not diminished. Oh, it's hold the line. It is a maneuver called hold the line, and I think a lot of dwarves get it or something. But I think on a nat 20, let's just say everybody get that's just how it works. And then on certain units, they're just better at that, and they get a better number.
The Soldiers of Fortune have hold the line. It's on their little
character. So they already did have that.
Wait, they. Oh my goodness! Thank you for pointing that out. I can't believe I missed that.
We just learned these rules as well, so well done.
Hey, a lot of rules. Not only does D&D have a lot of rules, we're adding more. Many more.
But I like that. I think in addition, so let's just to recap, nat 20 rules for 8, and to clarify for everybody, this is not technically the right rules for Kingdoms of Warfare. For Ages of Ainor Kingdoms of Warfare, attack test crits get you advantage on your power test. Power test crits get you an extra casualty. Crit on both, you double your total casualties for the round.
Sorry, nat 20 is on power tests, cause a DC 15 morale test.
Thank you. Yeah, DC 15 morale test to take another casualty. And if you nat 20 on your morale check against your diminishing casualty, you just don't take the casualty that would have made you diminish in the first place. However, moving forward then from that, they have Anglim's Archers power is +2. That is going to be a 14 on their power versus the toughness. So you do actually take
as a
another
reaction, I would like to use hold the line.
Okay. Again.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Soren.
So you go ahead and make that test again. It is. Booyah! Well, you don't take it again. Damn. Hold the line, boys. Hold the line.
It's good coin. Let's be alive to collect it.
Yeah. Damn. So just taking a rain of arrows that would have decimated any other unit. However, the Soldiers of Fortune being worth the pennies that were spent, they managed to maintain. That brings us to henchman number 3.
Wild.
Henchman number 3 is going to... Henchman 3 is going to double march, intentionally collapsing his own reserve. This is so fucking stupid. But we're doing it, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, friends, foes, countrymen, and assholes. Let's do this.
Yes.
We're taking chances. I don't know these rules any better than you do. Necessarily.
All's fair in love and warfare.
Okay, so henchman number 3 moves his unit to try to flank again and make a charge for Orin's Rangers. The battle is collapsing around you as the units smoosh together in the middle. Bringing us finally to the Territon Cavalry. Some of them on donkeys, some of them on old raggedy mares, plow horses, and so on. Silas, what you got?
One guy is trying to ride a big dog. They're getting whatever they can. The 3 leaders of the cavalry are the triplets, of course, Terrence, Aaron, and Darren, and they will. Believe it or not, that was my actual roommates in college.
That's so funny. This is totally random, but I saw this. I saw this like court deputization thing of some guy who was who was a witness in some sort of murder investigation. Who his name was
the
Terry.
Gary guy.
Yeah, his name was like Terry, and he had brothers Barry, Gary, Larry, and Derry, whose name was Daryl. Jerry. Yeah, there's like 6 of them with the same name, and that makes me think of that. Okay. All right, Silas and the Terrences, what you got?
Yeah. Okay, so just to be clear, the cavalry doesn't technically be on the board.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. They just like, you can imagine the cavalry is like circling the battle and running to hit whoever's exposed. So currently, go ahead.
Yeah, if you look at the enemy deployment, who the cavalry can legally target with an attack is basically anyone on the outside edges. So I'll just highlight them real quick. This guy, and this guy. Those 3 foot soldiers are all exposed. Everyone else is actually protected by another unit.
Okay, that was my question because I wanted to know if I could get at the archers. Then I am going to actually hammer in this guy here. So let's go for that. So just 2d20s.
Yeah.
Come on. A 10 plus what?
I think it's +3 maybe.
Cavalry. Yeah, you guys. Cavalry tends to have decent attack.
It is a +3, so a 13.
+3, so 13. And who are you going for?
I was going for the.
Yes, absolutely. That will do it. And he is now diminished. So before you do your other part, he's got to make a morale test.
So the 19 was on
the power test.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, which is your next phase of the attack.
And that's just a handy thing that we figured out while playtesting, Pixel and I. It's really easy to roll the 2 20s at once. It just cuts out.
Okay, so Anglim's foot soldiers in the force of surprisingly strong cavalry. I think it's the dog maybe that does it. They weren't ready for the dog. Yeah. Extra ferocious.
It's one halfling on a big dog.
It's one halfling on a big dog, but God, it's a scary dog. And and so they take that extra damage, and then they'll take your 2 additional damage from your successful power test, which breaks them.
Yeah.
Look at that. So you have wiped 1 unit
and
off the board.
As a follow-up, Soldiers of Fortune would like to use the reaction to follow up, because not only do you get to replace a space if a unit moves away from you, also if that unit breaks to clear the space.
Yeah. Okay. Damn. That's a DC 14. They get to make the move. Okay, so seizing the opportunity, the Soldiers of Fortune rush into the space vacated by the fleeing soldiers, revealing Anglim's archers.
And just a special nod, there is an ability that the Soldiers of Fortune have. After they make a successful follow-up, they have +2 defense until their next turn, which makes them great at surviving.
Yes.
Damn.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
Thank you, Territon.
So,
thank you, that one scary halfling on a dog.
Right?
He's so tiny.
Tiny.
That's Bertrand Inglewood, and he has no idea why he's even here.
Tiny but fierce. Okay, so hey, I put a thing in here to remind me it's time to count points.
A point.
So, Anglim's foot soldiers are worth 1, 2, 3 points, and they get 2 for Anglim's archers, 4, 5, and 6 total points for the Bedegar cavalry. If you all have 2 points for Soldiers of Fortune, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. 8 versus what? 7?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8 versus 6.
Well, they get 2 points for Anglim's archer, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 8 versus 6. Okay. All right. Well, that brings us Henchman 1. Henchman 1 still has a unit. It is going to attack.
Sorry, before we advance to the next round, how did everyone feel about that first round?
Sure. Let's talk about it.
Okay, I want to clarify something in my mind, okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The Anglin foot soldiers on the end here, the ones that you moved, those, they can't attack the archers yet because there's still somebody in the vanguard, right? Even though there's an empty space between them.
They will have to move into that space. Yeah. Right.
Like what the Soldiers of Fortune just did to the
Like what the Soldiers of Fortune just did. Yep.
Okay.
Now, the Bedegar cavalry will not be able to attack those archers regardless because you guys have things in your rear and your vanguard. But if a unit of infantry maneuvers itself next to a unit of any other kind, basically, it can attack it. So.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments you guys have? How are we feeling so far?
I'm having a great time.
Doing good. This is so fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Love it. Glad everyone's enjoying it. I was worried that it would be like miserable, but I'm glad you guys are having fun.
I just want to make like a spur of the moment announcement. I've already been adapting these for naval combat to include in the Beast Wilds in my campaign setting. So I'm planned to use the heck out of these rules.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Somebody tweet at Matt Colville. Tell him we're using his rules when we're having a good time.
Please.
Okay. Henchman number 1 is going. God, now what is he going to do?
Okay, would you mind to click on him so I know who he is?
Yes, sorry. This guy here.
Thank you.
In the
That
middle.
really helps me too. Thank you.
Henchman number 1. Is going to. I gotta make a split-second decision. He is going to attack the Soldiers of Fortune. It's probably not the best thing.
Who have +2 to their defense from that wonderful Into the Breach.
Excellent.
ability.
Okay, here we go, baby. Probably not going to do it. They've got a +3, brings them to a total of 12.
Does not beat 16.
They make a desperate attempt to attack the Soldiers of Fortune. They are not successful.
Piss off, you bums.
All right. That brings us to Henchman number 2, who has
Click it for me, please.
these guys here.
Thank you.
He is going to have to stay where he is. He doesn't really have a good other choice, I don't think. Henchman number 4, he is going to do our first attempt at a rally maneuver. So, Soren, you'll get to do one of these here in a second, if you want. A rally. Any broken unit can attempt to make a DC 13 morale test. On a success, the unit reforms with 1 casualty. If a 20 is rolled on the D20 for this test, the unit reforms with 2 casualties. On a failure, the unit disbands. So, he gets advantage on this, and he gets +1 on that. Let's let her rip. That is an 18 on the die for 1 additional casualty. And I believe he has to deploy in the rear, doesn't he?
He has to deploy in the rear rank of his own army.
So he's going to deploy back here in the rear rank. No.
So that's another thing to keep in mind.
He's going to deploy here.
If you think that the 1 turn might go quite badly for you, but if you're still not quite half the points of the other team, you have a chance to rally a couple of extra folks in.
Yeah.
And placement could be critical.
Okay. When you rally, it does not take an activation, so you do get to go ahead and activate. He is going to march and try to defend these archers. A last desperate attempt. Bringing us to Enna's archers. Enna, you got your pick of the board. Who do you want to go for?
Give him the hammer.
Hammer. I think I'm gonna go for. Actually,
I'll just say archers are not very good at making power tests, but they're usually pretty good at chipping away at things. So as a guarantee, if you think you can get one casualty out of your attack, these guys that just came back are like prime targets.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go for them.
Yeah. Let them have it. They rush back into the fray, desperate, bedraggled, half-beaten. The archers take aim. Oh, nice. The archers take aim. And I believe they can only make that rally test once per battle, right?
Correct.
If they are broken again, they are broken, which will be denoted by the red X. They do not get to try to come back
again.
They
rally once. If they do not succeed, they are gone. Only certain very special abilities will allow units to rally multiple times, and that is something that is not going to happen in this fight.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go.
Soren, you're up.
We flash back to 5 days ago where we see Derek McTripledipper standing in a room with a few hooded figures, and one of them says to Derek, "Look to my coming on the first light of the 5th day. At dawn, look to the east." And I'm going to roll my rally check for Eric's levies.
Nice.
I have to get at least a 14.
13.
Well, they have a -1 to morale.
Oh, right.
No.
I got it!
Yes!
They come back with two
They
casualties.
come back with 2 health points. There are 2 casualties.
They have to be placed in the rear, which again is a great reason to collapse ranks late in a fight so that reinforcements who rally are closer to the fight, but they can immediately activate.
Yeah.
We see with a forced march moving forward, led by the father of the McTripleddippers, Varric McTripledipper, unsheaths his hood and brings out his old family blade. For my son! And then we see the movement of Derek McTripledipper, who advances only the one time. Actually, no, fuck that. They're moving up twice to get in the archers.
Yeah, do it.
Whoa, let's go.
I did not expect to cry while teaching.
Okay,
And
also,
that is my
guys, I'll just tell you, if you are enjoying these Kingdoms and Warfare rules and you play 5th edition D&D, !KNW will get you a link to that product. Just to plug, we're big Matt Colville fans here. That dude makes good stuff, and we're using it. And so if you're enjoying this, you're wondering where are they finding all these rules, that's where you find them, baby. Cool. So the levies reform and rush to avenge their son, and the brother rushes forward into the maw of Anglam's archers. That was Soren's turn. Raz and the Soldiers of Fortune. What you got?
Seeing the rallying townsfolk who scraped together the meager copper pieces that they hid under dilapidated floorboards and in the rotten thatching of their hovels. These people, they deserve a good fight. Let's give it to them, lads. Charge! We're going straight for these foot soldiers, and we are going to clear them off the board. Let's do it. Let's do it, guys.
Oh, wait, you have... Doesn't Beast have inspiration? You could...
I do. And I would very much like to use that.
All right, we're going to re-roll
to get
that.
the nat 20.
I will let that happen. I will let that happen in this case, because it's kind of a weird thing.
That is technically the
But
power
I'm gonna,
test, but it doesn't.
Well, that's what I'm saying is I'm going to say, if you, I just roll again. If you hit, I'll give you the nat 20 on the power test, because we already we know what that rolls for. So, I'll let that happen.
So he rolls one more nat 20, right?
It's the first time you've seen more player live. Excellent, Delport. I watched like half of one stream of somebody trying to use these rolls. Oh no! Rip.
That's so lame.
Oof. With the battlefield churned by the numerous cavalry charges, the corpses of the fallen, the soldiers of fortune are just not able to get the footing they need to make that charge against those foot soldiers. Farron, you're up.
I'll blot out the sun with arrows.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think I am going to try to hit the other archers. See if we can get that lessened a bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're squishy. Get them.
Oh, that's
Go ahead and let her rip.
Oh,
no.
We have inspiration.
I
don't know if we want to burn it for a tutorial.
I'm gonna burn inspiration.
Yeah,
I
burn the inspiration.
Let's go. You got this.
Oh, girl.
Yeah!
Nice.
That'll hit. Okay, so going against the archers, archer to archer, you'll deal 1 casualty to begin with. And then what is your... They have an 8 toughness. They're not very tough, so they'll take both casualties.
Yes.
Incredible work. We love to see it.
Sweet.
Woohoo.
It is kind of weird. I'm not going to make you guys re-roll power tests when you get advantage. I think it's a little too noodly to do that. So if you fail an attack test but succeed a power test and spend inspiration, I'll just let you keep the power test roll. So that is what it is. Okay, that's Farron unless you want any movement.
I think I'm just gonna stick where I am for now.
Okay, Perdita.
All right. Not Perdita. Homer Stoma. That tobacco one more time. And seeing the diminished people in front of him, he charges after them again. I mean, doesn't move, but he goes after them again.
Let her rip.
He doesn't say anything because he's spitting out the tobacco.
Tobacco.
Oof.
17's great.
Well, 3 is not.
No.
Oh, I'm
3
sorry.
is
Yeah, you
not,
don't add them
but
together.
Seeing what everyone else is doing.
Everything is great. Yeah.
Perdita
Oh my God.
Perdita is going to spend her inspiration and roll another
Okay.
20.
Oh,
No! Oh my God! No!
There are no critical fails in the warfare rules, and we didn't
That's
make
bad.
any, so
Oh, God.
it's
Guys,
just a regular fail.
Throw your Ages of Rip if you got it, friends. Oh, man.
I'm just imagining, days of travel away at Castle Rend. The party is sitting and just being like, I feel less inspired than I was a few minutes ago for some reason.
Some
Do you just get
nebulous,
the nosebleed?
some nebulous forces. Actually, more like hacks up a hairball, right? Okay. Perdita, are you moving your levies in the back at all?
Damn.
Well, if I do, it collapses another time.
It does. I will say,
That makes my rangers vulnerable, right?
if the cavalry get wiped off the board, that becomes less of an issue. But also late in a fight, it becomes less and less crucial. But yeah, it's probably a good idea to leave them there. But
I'm
also,
staying
if
there
anybody
for-
ever wipes out the Bedegar cavalry, your levies can move wherever the hell they want because there's no threat to your rangers at that point. So
Okay. Staying where I am.
all right, bringing us back to Sir Anglim's archers. I hate to do it, but he really only has one option here.
Bring it on.
Okay. First attack coming straight at you. Soldiers of Fortune. Oof, that's probably not going to do it.
It does not.
It's a 13. Okay.
14.
They got one more attack coming at you.
Hold the line.
That 18 plus 7 is going to do it. And then 14, what do they add to their power test? Plus 2 is a 16. I believe that'll do both, yes?
As a reaction to becoming diminished, I would like to make a command test to attempt to not be diminished.
Okay.
DC 13. Booyah!
That will make it. However, you
Still
do take
the power test.
the power test, which, because they have point blank, they're extremely dangerous at close range. You take 2 casualties from that.
The soldiers of fortune, braggadocious, let down their shields, and at point blank range, fall to the volleys.
Do things only get 1 reaction per turn? Because I know we did 2 reactions last time. We kind of... Oh, no, you rolled the 20, and then you used the reaction. That's right.
Because the morale test wasn't a reaction from them. It was because of becoming diminished. Correct.
That's right. Okay, so... and they also are going to use... Oh, no, they're not. Are they?
Their second attack?
No, they've used their 2 attacks.
Oh, that's right.
They... it's not worth it. They're not going to use their Fate ability. They have an ability that allows them to move backwards after a successful attack, but that just puts them in range of the cavalry, so they're going to stick.
Yeah, that would just expose.
Speaking of the cavalry, however, Gears levies. You know what? No, soldiers of fortune. They're doubling down. The cavalry's coming in.
The soldiers of fortune are
exposed.
Yeah, they are exposed. Sorry. Yep.
No, you're good. All right, here it comes. 18 plus 3
That
is 21. 10 plus 3, however, is only 13.
Which does not succeed.
Does not
so
hit
we
the
only
power
take
test.
one.
So you only take 1.
I would. Shoot! I cannot set for charge.
Oh shit! You already used your reaction.
You knew that.
I did not actually think of that. Okay, that is Sir Anglim's turn. Henchman number 3 is going to move forward to threaten Oren's Rangers, fully pressing the charge despite what's happening around him. All right, we got 2 d20s coming at the Rangers. 11 plus 3 is 14 on the attack test, and plus 2 is 7 on the power test. So Oren's Rangers on the left, you take 1 casualty. They are not successful in their power test.
Okay.
Silas, the cavalry, once again gearing up for the charge.
Okay, so
The dog, tongue lolling out in the wind.
just so I'm clear, my targets are this man, this guy. This guy's not a target?
He is now actually a target, yeah, because
Okay.
he is exposed on the left side when this guy moved out of his rank. He is now exposed.
But not my archers here.
The archers are still protected from your cavalry, but any of the other units basically are valid targets for you, and including up to and including their cavalry. But you have probably better options because people are weak. But
I'm saving that. So yeah, Terrence, Aaron, and Darren are parading around, and yeah, they're gonna take their lances and go. They're going after this guy right here.
Okay,
let's roll that. Roll it. 11 plus 3 is a 14.
That hits.
That is gonna hit.
All right, and the power is a 4.
Okay, so they take 1 more casualty. They are not quite wiped off the board just yet.
They do have a reaction, DM.
Oh, they do. Yes, you're right.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. They are going to attempt to set for charge, so they've got to make a DC 13 command test.
Correct.
Okay, so here we go. They get +2 to command tests. What do we got? 11 is not higher than 13.
Wow.
Anglim's foot soldiers, beaten and bruised, are not able to prepare themselves. Again, the same muddy, bloody, churned up fields that did not provide the footing for the soldiers of fortune continues to not provide the footing for Anglim's foot soldiers as well. The sword cuts both ways. And the Territon Cavalry charge and get off without a scratch. Okay, it's points counting time, ladies and gentlemen. So
9 to
1,
6.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Very good. So, yeah, not quite there yet. Henchman number 1. Only valid thing for them to do is go for the Soldiers of Fortune. This could be a moment that turns the tide of battle as these two broken and busted units square off in the vanguard, in the center of Anglam's camp.
Let's do it.
That is going to be a 15 to hit.
Oh, that hits.
And a 18 on the power test.
They take a single casualty and are now
All right.
broken. And the Soldiers of Fortune flee the field of battle.
Soldiers of Fortune are broken. Too many of their fellows are lost.
Pick up your purses, boys!
Okay. That is Henchman 1. Henchman 2 has... Yeah, he can
Never
attack
mind.
Gears levies. What now?
Oh, sorry. I was going to say you might have the opportunity to do a follow-up because Soldiers of Fortune broke, but
There's not really a reason to, I don't think.
Would want to, right?
Because even anywhere they move, Gears levies can do a force march and get into right contact with the Rangers, so it kind of doesn't matter. Okay, so Anglam's foot soldiers are attacking Derek, is it, I believe?
Derek is in the enemy
so
reserve.
the first is a 16 on the attack test for 1 casualty against Derek.
Well, then that should be at 5. I misread
Oh,
that.
you
I
missed
read
it? Okay.
the first roll instead, so I thought that they won the power check too.
Oh, no, they just rolled. Yeah, they just won the power check. And they did not, or they just won the attack test. They did not win the power chest. That is Anglam's foot soldiers. Henchman 2. Henchman 4's unit is gone and cannot return. We will remove them from initiative entirely. Bringing us back to Enna's archers. Enna's archers, you are now locked in melee with these foot soldiers. However, you still can attack other targets if you wish. There are some you might be able to fully wipe off the board.
So I wouldn't be able to hit the guy in front of me because he's so close.
No, you can. Unlike D&D,
okay.
unlike D&D combat, where being in range matters in that way, it doesn't really affect it in this battle stuff. You can attack still at any time, anyone on the board. There may be special abilities that hamper that, but currently none are applying to you. So,
okay, I guess I'm gonna hit the Anglam foot soldiers in the vanguard.
okay, go ahead and make your tests.
All right.
Oh no! Oof.
Can I use my inspiration, please?
Yeah, if you want.
Thanks.
Okay, 17.
But I hit it right. Oh
Yes,
yeah.
so your attack test is successful. Your power test is not successful. So they take 1 casualty.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wait. Was she not aiming for these guys?
I thought you meant in front of you. Oh. In the Vanguard.
Vanguard.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Well, they're
hang on.
both in the Vanguard. It's just
sorry.
one's in our
I see how this
Vanguard,
one's
one's
in
in
I gotcha.
In theirs. I'm
Understood.
sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
no.
It's
Okay, so they take
hey, Anna,
one.
we all understood.
I didn't understand. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
That's my fault. But okay, so they are broken. You have
Does their
wiped them
Vanguard
off the field.
collapse?
Yes,
It does collapse. Yep. So
Bringing those beautiful squishy archers just a little bit closer.
Which means
actually,
they're
the
open
archers
to the
are
cavalry,
exposed.
right?
Yes.
yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
That's the 1-2 punch we need to win.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not what I wanted to do.
Add
Hang
in
on,
the
guys.
Soldiers of Fortune to come back. I'll do my
Oh, yeah,
best.
you get
I
advantage on the
promise,
test.
because they're worth 2 points. They're worth 2 points.
Right, sure.
Okay, friends. So. Okay. Yes. All right. So that was Enna's turn. Beautifully executed.
What a great turn, too.
Soren,
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Derek, and what was it? Daniel, whoever that other.
Derek and Varric.
Varric. I'm sorry.
Looking
Derek
back, I should have done Eric the White because I was doing a Lord of the Rings Gandalf reference.
Oh, yeah.
But it's too late. I've already done Varric.
All right, Varric.
So,
Derek and Varric, you're up.
All right. Derek makes his attack on the archers.
Okay.
So let me roll them d20s. Please, God. Let us win this battle.
Ooh.
It's a hit, but the power test doesn't.
No, it does.
Wait, no, the power test does.
Yeah.
It does.
Archers are super squishy on their toughness. Yep.
Which means that they are diminished.
Okay, so they take 1. They're going to be diminished. We got to do
got a
their
13
morale
check.
test. They have advantage.
Natural one.
And
Natural,
what
two natural
is
ones.
their... What is their
think they have
morale
plus
is plus
4.
3. The morale of these guys is plus 3, so they're good at these. They're very trained soldiers, but yeah, 18 will in fact do it. However, they still take another
power.
casualty
Right.
from the power test. So,
the archers do have a reaction called withdraw. When they become diminished, they can succeed on a command test to avoid taking that casualty from the diminishment, but
Yeah.
they must move back 1 space.
but I think that's
which-
only when they fail their... Hang on.
Let me look at this.
I think
here.
that actually only
Draw.
to
Yeah,
failing
The
a morale
reaction to
test.
failing a morale test.
Instead of
suffering
taking the casualty.
But they didn't fail the morale test; they passed it. So
Oh, sorry.
they
right.
took the extra damage from the actual power test. So okay. Plus, it doesn't super help them to move back there anyway. Okay, and then you've got another unit. Where does Derek go? Right? No,
Varric.
Varric. Where does Varric go?
Varric,
Get the lore
elder.
right.
Damn it! It's a
All these
disgrace.
characters have to show up in the next campaign.
Yeah.
Except for Eric. Well, Eric can come back as a zombie. We'll do
Eric
it
can come back as Eric the White.
No, it'll be there's a whole
If
necromancer
Eric
tower
comes back as a
subplot. Listen,
revenant,
Eric
like
is
halfway
yeah.
through this campaign.
My
Look, there's a
God.
whole
It will be the
necromancer's
full
tower
circle we
subplot,
need.
guys. Listen. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
All right, Varric.
It's not far from here.
It's really not.
Varric, I'm caught. Varric is going to forced march. But I don't know if he's gonna. I feel like his best bet is forced march towards the archers.
Okay.
Because the other levies can focus on these foot soldiers that are in our vanguard, or they can just take 1 movement forward and we can just surround the archer. So yeah, I think Varric's gonna move to face down these archers head on.
Okay. Soldiers of Fortune, moment of truth.
Oh, come on. We really need this. Oh, that's a 17.
They
to come
reform with 1 casualty in the rear.
back. So,
Sheesh.
booyah.
Nice.
There might have been some coins on the bodies we left. Let's get back into it, boys. There's gold left to pilfer.
And then they get to activate. Where do they go?
Oh my goodness. Actually, I actually think that I want to deploy them here,
Okay.
so that I can march them here.
Okay.
Yep, and that's all they got.
All right, Farron's archers, you're up. You have weakened archers and fresh foot soldiers and cavalry. Where do you send your arrows?
I am going after the archers again. See if we can
Yeah.
knock them down.
Yes, ruin
Let's
those.
go.
Have you ever seen the rain?
Oh.
Oh,
Roll another D20.
baby.
Because you have advantage on your
Give you
power
advantage
test.
on your
Beat it up,
power
beat it
test.
up.
Okay.
Okay.
What is
I
your
think that-
archers?
The archers have
That
a very low
passes.
toughness.
Yeah, the
That
archers
passes.
that passes. Okay, so
Let's go.
they take 1 casualty from your initial attack, and they take an additional casualty from the test. I don't think they've got any English I can throw on this. They don't. They're broken, baby. You take aim at the clearly superior archers. Loose your arrows and scatter them to the 4 winds. All right, Perdita. You're up.
Rita has absolutely no other choice, correct? She's going for the people right beside her. There's nothing
Oh,
else
for
to
sure.
do.
Nothing useful to do
Okay,
anyway.
now just because this is like a learning experience,
Uh-huh.
had had that not just happened, what happened that Farron did, I would have been faced with like a full group beside me, but they're looking at my Rangers, and a weakened group in front of me. And I know in regular D&D, it's better to take on the weakened usually and get rid of it.
Yes.
But then this one is up against my Rangers. So I had a dilemma the last time. What would have been the logical choice? So I will know in
this case, getting rid of those unit of tough Rangers, they're a high tier unit and they're weak, which means that when you knock that unit out, they lose 2 points on their side, right?
Right.
So you want to probably, in a situation like that, go for the weaker unit. And getting rid of points on their side means when we hit this count points now thing here in a couple seconds, it may very well be that they lose because we took out those Rangers, right? So
because the Soldiers of Fortune were able to rally, we recovered some points to our side.
So that helps Trish. But now back to Homer Stoma, who is getting short on tobacco. So he says, we gotta end this.
This is wasteful. I'm sorry. Can we just real quick? He's wasteful with that stuff. Sorry, continue.
It's tobacco, for God's sake.
I know, it's disgusting. Listen, but I'm just saying. And it's littering, although they're littering this place with corpses, so I guess who cares about that, right?
Everybody is slipping around so much. So I'm attacking Anglam's foot soldiers right there beside me.
Well, folks, let her rip.
Oh,
wow.
Yeet.
Hell yeah.
All right, easy. I don't even have to do math. That's 2 casualties. That is guaranteed. 2 casualties of the foot soldiers as Homer Stoma's group. And, I think Gear at this point has been moving around in some of these. I don't know which unit he's actually deployed with, but the battle is fierce.
But does that not diminish the foot soldiers?
No, it doesn't. They were at full health.
They were at 6. They took 2 casualties.
Oh, I got you. You did it so fast, I didn't see it.
Okay. Yeah, you're all good. Sorry.
The next casualty that they take will diminish them.
Okay, that brings us to Sir Anglam. Sir Anglam is going to attempt.
Go ahead, sorry. You do hear Homer above the sounds of war say, "Hi, damn." Now you may move on.
Okay, we're going to attempt to rally Anglam's archers. They get +3 to this morale test. They need a 10 or higher.
Prayers down.
Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be a 16 deploying in the rear, having rallied themselves. Anglam's archers.
Hey, don't worry, Daddy's coming.
Yeah.
Okay, and it is now the Bedegar Cavalry's turn. So the Bedegar Cavalry is going to...
Anglam's archers rallied.
Yeah, they get to do what they want now, too. I'm going to just start with cavalry. Because they're all under Sir Anglam's turn, right? So he's controlling 2 units.
Sorry, no. The rules state very clearly once a unit has been activated, including a rally, it must complete its activation before you do another unit.
It is then going to actually just charge directly into the battle. And is going to make an attack against, is this Varric?
Yes.
Varric is in the front.
Here comes the attack against Varric. Oh, that's bad. That's bad for them. One more attack against Varric coming in. They just cannot get it together. This is the zone of death over
invincible.
Here. Yeah.
Wait, Varric in full battle. He doesn't even have a shield. He's cutting arrows in midair
with his pitchfork or whatever. No, it's ancestral sword. With the ancestral sword. That's right.
Oh no, the second meets the defense.
Because it's +7. They rolled a 3 on their attack. The 10 meets the defense. So that does
levies
hit.
have 10 defense.
Yeah, it goes to the runner.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought the levies had higher than 10 defense. Okay.
That's
so
also
that is
successful power.
Yeah, so that is one. Yeah, so actually the Varric falling as well.
We see Varric cutting through arrows and being like, "This is for my son," and then we pan out and we pan through the eyes of a dying Varric as he's bleeding out on the battlefield.
Yeah, we have a real Boromir moment here as Derek is getting hit with arrows and cutting some out of the sky.
Derek is okay. Varric is.
Yeah, I said Varric.
Get it right.
I said Varric, motherfucker.
And actually, I do want to point out. I think Varric died where Eric died too.
That's true. Yeah. Together, holding hands.
He falls.
I think that's important.
I think he falls next to his son, their lifeless eyes staring at one another in death.
Oh.
The Triple Dipper family will never be the same.
And then
now
the Bedigar Cavalry braces for charge. The Soldiers of Fortune are their target.
Oh no.
Let's do it.
Roll a 1.
I'd also like to set for charge, by the way.
Oh god, I don't think that's gonna hit. They get a plus
14?
3. No,
never mind.
6 plus 3 is 9. So the Bedigar Cavalry attempt to take on the Soldiers of Fortune, but they outmaneuver them, and the charge is not successful. Henchman number 3 has 1 unit of infantry left. They, in desperation, are going to make their attack on Orin's Rangers.
Ooh.
That, I believe, both are going to be successful. So, Orin's Rangers, you take 2 casualties.
However,
Orin's Rangers.
N is Orin's Rangers. These ones here, sorry.
Oh, it had to be. Yeah.
You take 2 casualties. You get to make a DC 13 morale test because Enna's Rangers have become diminished.
And you make that test with advantage because you have adaptable.
Correct.
Okay, so DC what?
13.
DC 13, roll
so
2
just
D20s.
roll 2 d20s.
Oh.
And then we're
okay.
going to add 1 to this number. Yeah, you make the test. So you don't take an additional casualty. But you are diminished. Okay.
Okay.
Silas. The Territon Cavalry.
Yeah. I'm hammering the archers. Come on, let's get some good natural 20, please.
So that is advantage on your power test, and they will take 1 casualty. Oh, that 1 casualty is going to do them in.
They're broken. They're gone.
They're broken. Yeah.
I mean, go ahead and roll it anyway. Let's just see the flavor.
On the nat 20, can he charge through them and hit someone else?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the 17 definitely you just decimate, just demolish Anglim's archers. The second charge finally does them in.
Was that a
dog
halfling?
just ripping through
The
people?
dog is just ripping, and I think the dog doesn't come back. Like the dog is just in that square, just chewing through, the throats of the semi-fallen. Okay, that is the Territon Cavalry.
1, 2, 3.
Guys, it's time to count the points. I think you might have this.
I think, yeah.
1, 2, 3 points. We got 3
to 7.
3 to 7. Okay, guys, that is gonna do it. Victory for the forces of I don't have anything. Victory for the forces of the Territon warriors as Anglim's foot soldiers finally break and run towards Bedigar.
Everybody do their battle horn real quick.
Yeah, horn of victory, everyone.
What an absolute travesty.
Oh my god.
Okay. And now the battle over. Gear and Orin and Derek and Homer and whoever was in charge of the other units that didn't get names.
The cavalry triplets.
Right. Sorry, Terrence.
Aaron and Darren.
And Aaron and Darren and everyone else. Victorious, rout their foes. Gear and Orin stand together atop Hagen Hill, where Sir Anglim had made his stand. And they turn, victorious, to cheer with their units for but the briefest moment before their brows furrow in confusion and their mouths drop open and their eyes widen in fear. Behind them, Tarreton is burning. realizing their mistake as they watch, Anglem had sent units of soldiers through the Forest of Rend to attack the town and outflank them, killing indiscriminately. Realizing their mistake, they flee with whatever's left of their units into the Forest of Rend. 3 days later, they arrive at Castle Rend to beseech Count Silas Blackhand. So Count Silas, a messenger arrives for you as you, and I think at this point, we'll kind of move around in time some. We're going to move into the downtime stuff. We got about half an hour-ish left for some roleplay stuff, playing out these downtime activities. But a few days into this downtime, a messenger arrives to speak with you at Castle Rend. An envoy of a group of refugees turned soldiers from Territon itself. They bring a missive which states that they represent what is left of the fighting men of Territon who would stand against Saxton. And they beseech an audience. What do you do?
I'll look at the envoy. I'll look at the letter. Silas will squint and say, Derek, Darren, Aaron, Terrence, and a dog.
The envoy says, yes, your lordship, those are the lieutenants. So Gear and Orin are our generals, and those are the lieutenants formerly of the cavalry, although we had to abandon many of the horses as we came through the forest. But we do still have a dog.
Bring the dog. No.
He sort of like whistles and says, Broderick.
Yeah, Silas will.
And the halfling riding Broderick the dog comes in.
Are we assuming most people are together, most of the group?
Yeah, I would say we'll just imagine that this is a moment, because I think people are bouncing around a little bit, but we'll imagine anybody who wants to be here for this scene can be here for this scene. So
I will turn to Perdita and I say, how much do you know about Tarreton?
Well, I have been there many times. It is a charming town, normally a little bigger than Gravesford, but I would think that we should hear what they have to say. DM, does Perdita recognize anyone who's standing there, or are they all just the Territon city folk?
So the envoy who is here is kind of just a random soldier. I don't think, because they're requesting an audience, they don't know necessarily the stance of this new group that's holed up in this keep. They kind of want to feel things out. And so, also that RIP McTrippy Dipper stuff actually belongs over here, by the way. That's where the battle took place. Because just to let you guys know, and we'll pop over to the map for just a second, sorry. Essentially what just happened, the forces of Tarreton rushed out to this camp where Sir Anglem, who is kind of one of Sir Pelliton's peers, had set up camp and was raiding this farmland. Meanwhile, Sir Anglem sort of sent soldiers to flank them and attack the town. So the Territon folk fled to come find you guys. So that's sort of the kind of troop maneuvering that happened there. To escape what was left of those.
Perdita would definitely say we need all the help we could get. I think it's a town of fine people.
You asked who was there. The envoy is just a random soldier. The generals and the command structure have requested an audience, but they didn't just roll up at your castle gate. They're kind of camped out in the woods, some ways away, requesting this audience.
He'll immediately tell the envoy, bring the generals, bring the lieutenants. Tell them they're welcome. However, have their men hull up safely. We want to hide how many people are here for as long as possible, in case Pelliton has spies. But yes, we will meet with them as soon as they can get here.
Okay. Yeah. And so a few hours later, an envoy returns announcing their arrival. And you see the two generals, half-brothers, Geir Brennison in command of the fighting forces, and Oren Orenson in command of the Rangers. Could not be more different people. Perdita, you would know these men by reputation. Oren is he's a little kooky. He lives in the Forest of Rend, and his whole life has been sort of overshadowed by the defeat in the Battle of Hagen Hill the forces of Territon faced a generation ago, where you would all know his father, who was a prominent member of the city council of Territon, was slain. This would be kind of public knowledge. And the family fell on hard times, and he sort of set to policing the southern edge of the Forest of Rend. A generation ago, a group of orcs, could have been the White Tusk, no one is sure necessarily, had attacked the town. Geir was born 9 months after the orcs attacked Tarreton to Oren's father's wife, who was, so Oren's mother. Oren's father was also named Oren. There was Orenson is the person here. Oren Untherson is his father, and Untherson Untherson is the father. Okay, anyway. So you see him. He is in patched. Actually, Beast, why don't you describe
Yes,
Oren Orenson for us?
Oren is the first character I took through the Castle Rend adventure. Oren is a scraggly late 40s, early 50s, wild, like salt and pepper hair. Clearly has not had a haircut or a shave in years, probably. And the only reason that his beard is short is because he constantly tugs at it and rips it out. He is wearing this patched gambeson, which it's like a padded jacket that you would see like a local militia would have. But it's got so many holes and tears. There's like fluff peeking out everywhere. And you can see he has his hand in one of the tears, almost like it's a pocket. And some of the tears have little lumps and things. He has all kinds of things stashed around this thing that's probably about 25 years old and has been not very well loved, but he wears it every day. He has a longbow that is of ancient quality, and is honestly the most well put together thing about him. He is very wild-eyed, looking around everywhere. He's a bit feral. He's like if a wolf were a person.
Yes.
Him and Roz will get along great.
Fantastic.
There's a theme here, right? Okay, 1 second. I am actually going to...
Something smells delicious.
Okay, 1 second, guys. I'm going to pop you a handout of Oren Orenson here. There you go.
In the flesh.
Oren Orenson in the flesh. Let me put that so that the folks at home can see Oren Orenson.
Oren Orenson, a young militia captain, eager to please his father, who was a local politician, scarred for life after seeing his father killed in an orc raid, and has been patrolling the woods north of the town of Territon ever since, holding together the only few groups of what are actually poachers, what he considers to be his militia.
Yeah. And you see his brother, 20 years his younger, who is a half-orc man. He is wearing sort of like fighting leathers. He has a rapier, sleek black hair. He was one of the men we described in the very beginning of this session. He is extremely reserved, you find. But he carries himself with an kind of uncommon amount of poise. I'm going to put him in everybody's journal as well. There he is. And these two men approach and nod to you, Silas Blackhand, Count of Rend. And I think Gear speaks up first and says, I am Gear Brennison of Territon. If you would stand against Saxton the Usurper and the Knights of the Rose, we would stand with you if you will have us.
Friends of Bedegar, friends of Gravesford are always welcome here. Silas will go and try to shake both of their hands.
Yeah, Gear will shake his hand and kind of look surprised, actually, at that how, like, make an insight check.
Sure.
And then I'll leave it up to you to tell me what. 21. You clock immediately what this is. You've experienced stuff like this for yourself living with the elves. Gear is used to a tremendous amount of, like, people not wanting to associate with him or treating him differently because he's a half-orc in Tarreton. And he is a bit taken aback by the fact that you do not seem to share any reservations in that regard.
Yeah, Silas is very used to that feeling. And he doesn't acknowledge it. He doesn't want to embarrass him or make him feel as though, he's been clocked. But he does read that and, just makes him feel human. Not human, makes him feel like a person.
Yeah.
You know what I meant. He also goes to shake Oren's hand.
Oren, what does Oren do here?
Oren takes a greasy hand out of one of the rips in his gambeson, and he pops a bright red berry in his mouth and proceeds to chew with such force that the berry explodes with a little fleck of red juice oozing down his silvery white beard. And seeing that Silas shook Gear's hand, Oren is very happy, and he actually slaps Gear on the shoulder and then kind of nurses the back of his hand as if he just hit something kind of hard. And he looks at Silas. Well, it's nothing we can't do to kick back the dark tides, bring back the good old days. We got fighting men aplenty. Well, less than we had a few days ago, but we're in the forest, and I know the forest like the back of my hand. Oh, that hurts. And we're here for you. And he sticks out his greasy berry juice sticky hand to Silas.
Yeah, Silas shakes it, and then as he's doing so, kind of sneaks a look at Soren and Enna, where he's just like...
Soren gives a thumbs up.
And kind of while they're making pleasantries, kind of puts his hand in his back pocket and wipes all the disgusting grease and berry juice off of it.
And
First Lieutenant Oren Orenson of the Territon Kinfolk Militia reporting for duty.
Please don't. It's fine.
Hear me now, your grace.
Derek McTriple Dipper steps out from the crowd and takes a knee.
That bastard Saxton killed my father and brother. I will salt the grounds with his ashes for you, my liege.
And Gear takes a deep breath and just says, can you all behave for 5 fucking minutes?
Seeing a kindred spirit in Gear, Silas looks to him and he says, we don't have much time to prepare. How many units have you brought, and what can they do?
We can muster 2 units of infantry. They'll need equipment, but that shouldn't be too hard to come by here with a little notice, and a unit of trained archers.
We may have some strange bedfellows as this continues. Will your men have any problems with orc troops or a legion of ghosts?
You see at the mention of orc troops, actually, Gear's eyes narrow considerably, and he takes a deep, deep breath.
Orin spits when you say orc.
But he says, the crimes of a generation ago do not outweigh the burning of our homes. The men will stand.
Ain't the right time to settle old scores. That's what I would say.
I agree. It seems that the White Tusk orcs have also, am I correct in that?
Yes.
Okay. Have also a bone to pick with Pelliton. And they've agreed by issuance of this, and he kind of points to Soren's horn, to join us in battle.
Well, that's a big bird.
Yes.
Oh no. Oh no.
I am, in fact, a big bird. Very astute of you.
Ori, you're going to have to learn to shut your mouth one of these days, brother.
That is a big man.
Yeah, how tall is
Orin's
is
like
our half-orc friend?
5'4".
That is not a big
Yeah,
man.
Orin is very
Gear's
little.
like 6'2".
Gear's very tall. Gear's very tall and extremely built.
Yeah. And do we know, just from looking at them, a bit of their skill set? I mean, I'm assuming that Orin is probably a ranger.
Yes. Yeah. Gear's a fighter. He looks like a duelist. He it's strange though. He's very tall and very well built. He carries himself with a like extreme kind of reservation and poise, very like controlled. And you would expect a half orc to wield like a maul or a greatsword or some big fuck off weapon. Some kind of berserk sword ass shit. He has a very delicate rapier, but it is extremely well made and kind of cruel looking.
Silas kind of like, he clocks that and says, I see we are kindred spirits, and he kind of pulls his out a little bit too and puts it back.
Yeah. And Gear says, a fine blade, quite serviceable. He says, he pulls his out and says a little bit, not like fully out, but pulls it out a little bit. And he says, this is Karjum. I forged it myself.
Well,
does anyone speak Orcish?
Perdita does.
Perdita does. Yeah, Perdita, you know what that translates to. The name of that sword in Orcish is anathema.
Silas says, this one is found. However, I've named it the Warrior's Waltz. I'm very happy to have you aboard. We can service you and your lieutenants here. However, many of your men will have to take refuge in the forest itself. I assume that won't be a problem. And he looks to Orin.
Haven't slept in a bed in years. Won't start now. It's bad for the back. And the mind. And the eyes.
Okay. Right.
Okay, very good. So I don't want to try to drag that out too long because we may have some other scenes to get to.
Sure.
But I think with that, you guys now have 3 units to bring to the Pelliton fight. They're all tier 1 regular light units. The levies, Gear's levies, have been upgraded to Gear's infantry over the course of the week. I think the blacksmith, Jago, the blacksmith in Gravesford, sets to making some swords and some basic shields and equipment and things like that for them. And so Orin's Rangers, I believe some of their stats have increased, and the levies have become 2 units of infantry because they don't have farms to go back to anymore. They're basically just soldiers now for at least the time being.
In mechanical terms, what has happened is because these regular units survived a single battle and they won, they have increased their experience level from regular, I think, to veteran. And now that they have increased experience, they get slight buffs to their stats.
So, okay.
Cool.
How in depth? We've got about 20 minutes left or so, guys. How in depth do you want to go with some of the rest of these? I know Perdita and Roz have a scene they want to do. I want to give precedence to any scenes that you guys are like interested in doing to play out with different folks, and we can sort of hand wave and run down some of the just random mechanical stuff that happens, but any of that you guys are interested in making scenes out of, I want to give deference to. So a couple of things that are happening in this week. Silas, you attract another unit, the clock from your friends from another unit of archers, Two Buckle, who was the halfling who warned you guys of Pelliton in the first place. We can do that as a scene if you want. We don't have to. Roz reaches out to another unit of Tabaxi. I think we probably want to make a scene out of that, but Anna and Silas both work on kind of creating the temple and the wizard's tower and the keep stuff. I know Farron said you wanted to work with the townsfolk to try to like rebuild parts of the keep. I know Soren was going to reach out to the temple and also try to help Anna, and Perdita is off looking for some units, and Silas, I think you're as Flavor helping to train Edmund. So what out of all of that needs to have like actual scenes with it, and what do you guys want to be okay with just like waving? Oh, also Anna, as part of your thing, you attract a retainer / ally person. I want to do a scene out of that as well. So where do we want to start? Maybe roll initiative or just roll a d20 and we'll kind of go down the line and hit what we hit.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd like to do, we can hand wave the tower and the archers if you want. However, I would like, if Perdita said she was interested in also helping with Edmund. So if Perdita wants to sit in on training, we can do that. That's the only thing I'm interested in doing right now.
Okay.
CX.
Okay, so there's one thing. I've got a 20. I've got a 15. Farron and Soren. Would you guys like to roll for me? Or do you guys have anything that you want to... Oh, you've got... Okay, so it looks like it'll be Anna following that. We will do... Okay, and I'll give you guys a... let's see. We got a 10 and we got a 9. So Farron would be next with the townsfolk. And you guys, when we hit your turn, if you have any additional scenes you want to do with other people, just let me know. Okay, and then 7 is Soren. Oh, 9 actually is Perdita. And this is... Sorry. Okay, who else? I've got Soren. And I have Silas. Okay. Okay, cool. There we go. That's sort of our rough itinerary here. So, Roz, we've got 2 scenes. You want to do a scene with Perdita and a scene with the Tabaxi mercenary situation. What would you like to start with?
I'd like to do the scene with Perdita first.
Okay. I will just fully leave that to you guys. You find a time, I think, when you're both either in Gravesford or the Castle Rend, whichever you prefer, and take it away.
I think it will be in the Castle Rend, and I think it will happen inside of the collapsed tower. Roz is going to find Perdita and request that she accompany her to the collapsed tower. Because Roz needs her help in calling out for help.
Well, all right, I will go with you, Roz. I'm not sure I can help, but I will go.
Tell me, Perdita, do you remember the Hisker's yowl, the mighty roar that our family has that can break down even stone walls?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think I've ever heard such a sound, Roz.
It was the scream I made in the basement of the castle to bring down the shattered wall.
Oh, all right.
This.
I remember that, but I had never heard it before, I don't think.
This is our birthright. I have studied the Hisker's heredity, and I have found your name. Look with me upon it.
And Roz is going to unfurl this really complicated document with all these like additional sheaves and folded pieces and essentially like medieval Post-its tacked on that roll out and form a family tree that spider webs out in every direction. And using her claw, she traces a point from her name directly up to the very top where it says Hercules. This is our great ancestor.
Oh,
that is where I am.
I see that, yes. Well, what does that have to do with me?
Do you remember Granny Cambria?
Oh, well, yes, of course I do. She was sort of old and silly, and she had lost her teeth many years before, but, well, she was there at our house always, yes.
Now follow.
Tracing a line down from Hercules onto these like extra pieces of paper that are tacked on to each other and rolled out and sort of half scribbled, not as official as the main document. You see Roz trace a line down to Cambria Hiskers, and below that are the names of Perdita's parents.
Oh, yes, I see what you're saying now. So I suppose we are really related. Oh, my.
It is proof, Perdita. But I have a confession to make. And this is why I have asked you in secret to be here with me.
Well, you may tell me. I will treat it gently, Roz. What is it?
Tracing her claw back from where your name would be, back to Hercules, Roz counts the number of steps and then counts the number of steps back down to her name.
6, 7, 8. Do you understand, Perdita? I am not the true heir of Hercules. It is you.
Oh, Roz. Does that mean I have to start saving my piss in a bottle?
Only if you wish to be as powerful as me.
Well, I just do not think it is my style. Well, Roz, this doesn't really change anything, and we have many serious things.
It changes everything, Perdita.
But Roz, you care, and I don't. I have many things to accomplish this week. It is all right. You go ahead and be the descendant of the mighty Hercules. It is all right.
This is not a calling that you can say no to, Perdita. It was destined for me to be here. This is the only reason for my suffering. It must be. Perdita, I must teach you the Hisker's yowl, for together we must call the litters of Hercules.
Oh, and will they come and fight with us?
If our scream is pure and our howling mighty, and if I am still worthy. Perhaps.
Well, all right, Roz, let's try because we need all the help we can get. Yowling is not really my thing, you know. I sort of like to sneak around on the quiet a little bit, but do you think we should go
Roz
somewhere?
takes a claw and immediately sticks Perdita in the butt.
Oh! Why did you do that, you ugly woman? You should not have done that to me.
That was a good start, but we have a long way to go.
I think that's a good place to end it. But I do think it would be fun if the rest of the party wanted to make perception checks to see if they heard any incredibly strange screaming coming from the abandoned tower.
Okay, Silas is too distracted by all the goings on in the keep. Soren, on the other hand, I think probably notices from the temple room a distant yowl. Farron definitely hears Perdita. And Enna also definitely hears. So the Enna and Soren in the temple hear the distant yowl. I think Farron is probably like not that far from the tower, you know. It's from the ruined tower. And definitely hears. You guys can react to that however you would like.
Farron, hearing her friend yowl, is going to run and try to search for Perdita.
Yeah. And I think just in terms of the sake of time, you find them doing some sort of strange tabaxi ritual, yowling at the sky in the broken tower. And yeah, and I think a few days pass, and a group of tabaxis slink out of the trees around Castle Rend, and just sort of like start lounging around. So just like hanging out in the courtyard, laying in the sun.
Yeah. Does Roz notice this?
Yeah, I think you would. It will be hard to miss.
Yeah, so Roz is going to start addressing each of them and attempt to herd cats.
Yeah. You very quickly determine that the leader of this group is a very thin, sort of quiet-looking, sort of gray tabby cat.
Mioraya.
Roz.
It is a long way from Kemara. Why is your stinking breath in Bedegar?
We were around, and we heard your piteous yowling, and we thought perhaps we could be of assistance to a distant cousin of the ancestor.
Distant cousin yourself. I will have you know the true heir of Hercules has been found. And it was found by Roar's Hiskers.
You put so much store by the old ways.
The old ways are the only way. And once you learn that, Miauraya.
Miauraya looks around. Sorry, go ahead.
Then you will be an heir of Hercules.
Miauraya looks around at the group, the large group of tabaxis, a full unit, and says, the old ways are not alone in sufficiency, Raz. I do quite all right.
Regardless, cousin, it is not for me to meet. I must take you to our leader. It is a human.
And I think Roz will introduce Miauraya to
and I think,
Silas.
yeah, I think we'll kind of hand wave the sort of whole, process. Basically, for this battle, you guys will have access to, what did I call those guys? You guys will have access to a unit, the Yowling Commandos, a unit of Tabaxi infantry, tier 2 unit of veteran. I can't remember what equipment level they're at. You guys are welcome to.
They are tier 2 veteran medium infantry.
Yeah.
They got
nasty. A bunch of shit. Yeah, they're pretty cray. So yeah, you guys will have access to that. And I would like to move on to Anna.
Can I real quick?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Just a quick flavor bit. Soren and Charlie are both on the battlements looking down at the horde of bird-eating cats.
Oh no.
This is going to be an interesting week.
Okay, Anna.
Mm-hmm.
You are one of these days during the downtime. For folks at home, they have a week that's taking place between when they fully took Castle Rend and when it's going to end up being that the battle comes. They've all been preparing and gathering units and stuff like that. Anna, as you are beginning to sort of, you and Soren together are reconsecrating this temple, doing away with this sort of like curse or whatever was placed on it, placating the spirits in the tomb and all of that business. One day, you hear a loud crashing noise outside of the keep.
Okay. And goes to see what that loud crash was.
Yeah, you rush out and see the front gates of the keep, and you see there appears to be a tree that is much closer to the keep than you remember any trees being. There's just like a tree kind of there where it really shouldn't be.
Okay. Anna's gonna look at the tree and then look behind her and then like kind of do like one of these and kind of like peek around the tree, and she can tell something's a little weird and a little off, so she's gonna like slowly approach this tree.
Yeah. You approach the tree. Hang on. Okay, that's me. Good. Yeah, you approach the tree, and that's the thing I'm looking for. And you see, as you look to kind of see like why this thing is here, it sort of like with a creaking of old wood, you see this tree is like oddly shaped kind of. As you approach, you see it almost has this like, it almost has like two trunks going down and like weird two branches coming off of either side and this knob sort of in the top of it. And you see as you approach that two eyes open up in the knob of the tree, revealing this to be the head of a treant who sort of looks down at you and sort of says, Harumph, Harumph. Who are you?
Anna just kind of stares at the tree and she goes, my name is Anna. What, are you real?
Yes, of course. I am Triangle, they called me.
Triangle. Okay. Hi. She's kind of like bewildered now. I feel like I'm in a storybook.
I had heard. The birds have whispered on the wind as they made nest in my branches of a cleric reconsecrating the temple here.
Yes, that would be me.
Whom do you serve?
The saint. You might have to help me, Pixel.
It's Tathan.
Tathan. Okay, thank you. I keep wanting to call it Tatey. I don't know.
Yeah.
The saint of Tathan.
Ah, the Sunbringer. a serviceable saint. I have sought the guidance of Solorna. I have been instructed to render you aid should you require.
The aid we will need as we are up against a powerful enemy. You're here to help us?
Yes. The humans in the seat of power long away are no friends of the forest.
Do you know who Pelliton is?
You little two-legged things live such short lives. I do not know this Pelliton.
Wow. Well, we will definitely take your help. He's quite mean.
I see. Very well. I shall take up a space in the corner of your courtyard, and when the time comes, call upon me and I shall do my best.
Thank you. And Enna's gonna reach her hand out to touch the tree, if it'll allow her.
That tickles.
Oh, no.
Reminds me of when the squirrels crawl through my branches.
And I just like giggles. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
And Trangle the Treant nods at you and sort of slowly and lumberingly makes its way over to a corner of the courtyard and settles down and does his best tree impression. Okay, great. Farron, you wanted to try to rally like the townsfolk to sort of help rebuild the keep and all of those things. Is there anyone in particular that you wanted to reach out to? You've met a couple of the folks who are fixtures in Gravesford. You know Pinna at this point pretty well. You, I believe, met Morgause the Carpenter. I don't know if anyone met the Mayor Osric. There's Osler Ham. So there's kind of a few folks who might be available to you. Did you have anyone specific that you were looking for?
Maybe not anyone specific. I do know that in the castle we found that room that had the makings of a potion. I don't know if that's something that Pinna would be interested in, if she could make something for the upcoming battle.
I think you guys actually finished it. I think somebody took some feathers.
Soren,
Silas did, right?
Soren
Somebody took
drank.
some feathers from Silas, took some feathers from Soren and finished it. And you now have several charges of a potion of like owl's wisdom or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I believe is like an enhanceability potion. Which did I put that in you guys' magic items?
I think one
in
person
handouts,
got
magic items, Castle Rend items. I did not put it. Hey, somebody please text me and remind me to put that in the Castle Rend magic items and give it to these guys so that they have access to it. But it basically is a potion of enhanceability, and it more or less gives you the enhanceability effect on wisdom, which gives you advantage, I believe, on just wisdom ability checks. So that has been done, yes.
Yeah, I am more so looking to rally them to fix up any spots. And also we discovered that like secret passageway through the back, if we did need to like make a quick getaway, to secure that and hide the exit on the back so that it's not obvious or anybody could sneak back into.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so I think Morgause the Carpenter is probably the person to talk to, if you remember her. We'll bop back over to the map screen for just a second, and I'll pull her up. She used to be a like seamstress, but her husband was the town carpenter. Do I have? Oh, this is not the handout version that I want. Get out of here. Excuse you. This is the NPC handout. There's Morgas the carpenter. I'm gonna put that in everybody's journals. Okay. So I don't know if you can see her. No, this is not the person I want. Get out of here. Is this the... That gives you the character sheet. I want the handouts. This is being weird.
I think we already have Morgaus in our...
Anyway, yeah. So
I have access to Morgaus.
So that's Morgaus, the carpenter. I don't know why it keeps pulling up her character sheet, and I'm not going to worry about it. And yeah, she will work with the carpenters. We don't have to do like a full-on scene here if you don't want, but yeah, you can rally the sort of carpenter trainees that she has. She probably tells you that like working with the stone in the keep will be good practice for them in their masonry efforts, and sort of begins to rally the townsfolk to help you out.
Sweet.
Excellent. Perdita, we discussed this a little bit outside of game. Perdita, you are in Gravesford, I believe. Yes, and you recognize... Oh no, yeah, you're in Gravesford, and one of the days as you are kind of going about your business, this is probably relatively early in the week, the first time you guys revisit town, you notice something interesting. There's a man who is sort of pulling a cart full of vegetables into the town square for market day, and you recognize this individual.
Oh.
What would you like to do?
Oh. I will run over to him because I do recognize him, and I know that he was a soldier. He was a Bedegar soldier, and he was fairly close to Ulster. I cannot imagine what he's doing with vegetables. And I run over to him and I say, "Is it you? Is it really you?"
Yeah, so you you run up to this individual who is dressed in simple farmer's clothing. He has kind of just simple, kind of dark brown, almost black hair. He has very kind of tanned skin, and he looks at you and he kind of furtively looks around and says, "Perdita, is that you?"
It is, and I must talk to you. I do not know what you are doing with those vegetables, but there is work that must be done, and you must come now. Come with me. Please, I must talk to you.
It's me, Cinther. I've been in hiding. Is it? It is a risk,
Cinther.
but...
Cinther, I have but one word to say to you, and I hope you can tell me if there are any more like you. Cinther, listen to me and listen carefully. Edmund is alive. And we must fight. We must get everyone together. Are there any others like you? Please, you must help me. There is hope. I can take you to him now.
Cinther sort of nods and looks around and says, I think I can rally some of the old guard, yes.
Cinther, do it. Come to Castle Rend. We will give you what arms we have. It is very important. You will see Edmund. Cinther, there is hope.
He says, Castle Rend, that old ruin.
Yes. Come quickly. And I think that then Penna, oh my God, Perdita is going to tell him everything quickly and rapidly and hope that he and she, between the two of them, can rally some of the old guard that would have escaped the tragedy and the murders of Bedegar family.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you sort of bring Cinther in, and Cinther will try to put the word out through the network. And you spend most of the rest of your week in and around trying to rally these folks. You will get access in the combat to the Old Guard, which is a unit of former Bedegar soldiers who were cavalrymen. who are not loyal to the new regime. And so many of them sort of went into hiding and fled and things like that. But you managed to sort of rally enough of them to form a unit. And that is Perdita. Soren, you are reaching out to the Legamine Catechism. Do you want to do like a full-on scene with this, or?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Soren is, I think Soren's just sitting atop one of the towers, kind of exposed to nature, alone with his kind of ritual site that he set up, and he's casting Sending, reaching out to Aoife, the Cardinal of Dalaroth, that has been his mentor for his entire priesthood, and reaches out through this message with, "We are in grave danger. The illegitimate ruler of Bedegar seeks to slaughter the good people, or slaughter the people of Gravesford. I request your aid." Once more.
Yeah. You get a sending back that says, "There is not time to send material aid, but we will intercess on your behalf. When the time comes, make your prayers heard."
Soren nods to himself, and he looks up, and he looks to the north, far past the horizon, to the great woad that was once his home. And he nods solemnly, and he mutters a small, quiet prayer to himself. And then he starts packing up his goods, and he heads downstairs.
Yeah. Okay. And then finally, Silas, I believe you and to some extent Perdita are working in, as time allows, among the other things, in beginning to sort of train Edmund in combat and various other things. So I believe you would wanted to do something with that.
Yeah, so as a part of Silas's morning routine, he will go down to what they have built as kind of their training area, and he'll set his sword down, and he'll kind of give himself a little bit of space and meditate, and he'll give himself at least 30 minutes to an hour before Edmund shows up just to do this. And then, Perdita, are you tagging along?
Perdita's having a coughing fit. What you would see from Perdita is she also is up every single morning, and she does not eat that big breakfast anymore, nor does she take any naps. She runs and doesn't walk. She leaps when possible. She jumps up at trees. She probably dances around the tree a bit, and everything is motion and movement for her. She eats protein and very little else. If you will give her a chance, she will spar with you and dodge in and around quickly and jab at you with her dagger and try to help you be quicker at what you do. And she will work with you in Edmund mode both to show you how to stand and how to stab and how to be quick and how to run. All the things she has learned as a rogue.
Okay. So Edmund has Silas's original saber sword.
Right.
Silas is gonna teach him a few of the forms of the blade song, and he wants to see what Edmund can do.
Okay.
So, if Edmund wants to go ahead and just attack Silas,
okay,
that's fine with me.
Oh boy. Let me see what his stats are. I don't even know. Okay. Okay. All right, here it comes.
Okay.
Oh, God. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Watch him annihilate Silas.
That looks like an 11 to hit.
Yeah, misses. Parried out of the way. So Silas will critique Edmund's form, say, listen, and show him where kind of when he's coming in for a thrusting attack, he needs to angle his wrists in such a way that it can't be knocked away. And he says, you're focusing too much on what you cannot do. Think about what you can do and focus. And he'll let him come again.
Okay. So 14.
14 just hits. Silas will spin, see it incoming, and shield and knock it away.
Rude.
Yeah. And he says, just like that. Now, and Silas will, while he's doing this, he's talking to Edmund the whole time. And he's asking him questions. And he says, Edmund, what do you want? What is your goal?
Edmund says, oh, man, what does Edmund say?
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, you're fine. He says, I want what is rightfully mine.
And Silas comes back. And I think at this point, Silas kind of uses that moment to thrust the blade up to a point right below the neck. He's not hitting Edmund at all. He's doing 0 damage.
Yeah.
He just wants, a hit for them right now is just showing where a point would be.
Right.
And he says, nothing in this world is rightfully yours. Everything can be taken in a moment. And he pulls back. Silas says, my mother was rightfully mine, gone. My teacher was rightfully mine, gone. What do you want in this moment?
To separate Saxton's perfidious head from his neck.
Good. Focus. And he's going to he's coming in for a flurry, just putting Edmund on his back foot. And I think at this point, Edmund might be lagging behind. Perdita, I don't know how Perdita feels. Does Perdita feel like Silas is pressing too hard?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I think, though, that Perdita would say, Edmund, Silas, we have so little time. Listen to him, Edmund. Listen to everything that he tells you. But remember also that whatever happens soon, it won't be the end. And so you must learn and continue to learn and continue to strengthen. You must pay attention. You cannot turn into a silly fat old hog like me who only eats and takes a nap. Although if you would look at Perdita, she looks much thinner and buffer. You can never lose hope. If you want this, Edmund, you have to want it for a lifetime, and you can never give up hope. And Silas, the same is true for you. They have named you the Count of the Black Hand, and here you are. But if you want it, then you will also need to focus And it will have to be forever, because just like what happened to the Betagar family, the evil doesn't ever stop.
I think,
and she goes right on to her routine then of of action and exercise.
Let's roll high. A 16. Does that hit his AC?
Oh, for sure. His AC is 10.
Yeah. So Silas is going to knock the saber out of his hand and actually go down to one knee and grab him by the shoulders and just look him dead in the eye and say, "What makes Edmund great? Think, focus."
Jeez.
And as he sees him not understanding or contemplating, he says, "Look at me." And Silas will roll up his sleeves to his scrawny, pathetic arms, and he says, "I couldn't lift you if I wanted. But," and then it doesn't even have his wand in his hand. He kind of summons a ball of fire and throws it at one of the targets there, and it just erupts with a firebolt. He says, "Focus on what makes you important."
I don't think Edmund says anything. I think he just nods and he looks like he's deep in thought.
Okay. Silas continues to train with him as long as possible. He will continue to teach him as much of the blade song as Edmund can pick up if he's interested in that. However, if it seems like Edmund may be suited towards, I don't know, picking up a warhammer, Silas would also be interested in helping him mature what he's best at.
Yeah, cool. Make an insight check, Silas.
I'm pretty good at those.
12.
Famous last words.
I don't think it's clear just yet.
Yeah.
I don't think it's clear just yet. I think you would know pretty much it's not picking up a giant warhammer. At least it just doesn't seem like he's going to be built into big, broad bruiser type. But whatever else it is, it's not clear just yet.
Okay.
He is still sort of a young boy. He's only about 13 years old, and it's just not obvious necessarily what he will grow to be.
And just as a final, as they're wrapping up, as wiping the sweat off their faces, probably eating a little bit of breakfast before going on to what else they're doing, Silas will say, "Nothing is promised, not even tomorrow. Work on what you can today. Focus. That's the only way you're going to achieve what you set out to do. And if that's ripping Sword Pelliton's head from his body, we'll do that. If it's rebuilding the kingdom of Betagar, we'll do that. Or if it's just reuniting with your friend Perdita, we can do that too."
The week passes. 7 days, 7 nights. Our heroes meet new allies. New allies arrive at their doorstep, eager to throw in against the tyrant and usurper. New allies arrive directed by the hand of the gods themselves. Aid is sought from afar. The humble people of Territon set themselves to attempting to repair, to the extent that they can, the castle walls and floors and ceilings, but not much can be done in a week. Some minor fortifications erected. 2 units of infantry, Gears infantry, 2 units of archers, Orin's Rangers, and the crew on loan from the clock. Ghosts, Yowling commandos, the promise of orcs, old, tired cavalrymen, They begin to arrive at Castle Rend and set themselves against what they know is coming. 7 days, 7 nights. And on the 8th day, horns blare in the distant woods. Our units are arrayed. And that is where we'll leave our session, friends. Next time, we will go through the Battle of Castle Rend as well as the combat. Our heroes' units will face off against the forces that Bedegar, Saxton, and Pelliton can muster with whatever forces they can bring to bear. As well as Trangle the Treant, Garx Brooks, and our heroes themselves will do their best to stand against Sir Pelliton and whatever lieutenants he will bring to bear. We know he has some method, magical or otherwise, of getting into the castle. There will be a fight. It will be bloody. And we will see it next time on the Siege of Castle Rend. Thank you guys so much. That was such a fun episode. Sorry we went a little over. Hope everybody's okay. And the warfare stuff, you guys did great. I know there's a ton of rules coming at you, but everybody did an amazing job. And I hope you guys enjoyed our little foray into, what's happening elsewhere in the barony of Bedegar, sort of explaining the source of some of your troops and getting a fun little cameo from some former PCs that James and I played.
I was delighted to see them. Delighted to see them again. Yeah. Did we do well enough to get a little inspiration from our
Sure. If you didn't use your DM inspiration, you can have it again. You'll probably need it.
When you were talking, I forgot one thing that I really intended to do, and it's just so adorable that you have to let me share it.
Okay.
In her time after dinner, Perdita would have taken little bits of meat. She is a rogue and she's very quick. And she would have played a game with Garx Brooks where she would have tapped on his head, and when he opened his mouth and his tongue stuck out, it would be a contest to see if he could grab the meat from her hands and have a little snack, but not mess with her paws. And so they would have played a little feeding game, Garx and Perdita.
Gotcha. All right. Very funny. And as usual, as we sign off, we are going to do kind of go around one more time, let you know who we are, who we played tonight, and where you can find us on the internet. Once again, starting with the inestimable Bonus Mom.
I am Bonus Mom. I am playing Perdita, the Tabaxi Rogue, and I can be found in many TikTok videos and also live streaming on TikTok at noon on weekdays, and I like to play games on Twitch. I am Bonus Mom 70 everywhere you look. Come and find me.
Excellent. And Jacob.
Hi, I'm Jacob. You still can't find me. You couldn't last time, and you still can't. Don't even try it. I play Soren Fairtalon, the Twilight Cleric Alan, and I also played the McTrippledippy family, who honestly I think I may care about more than Soren at this point. So their tale of revenge is enthralling.
It is.
I'm so happy to be here. I can't wait for next session. And I can't wait to see what happens next.
Alrighty. And Mackenzie.
I am Mackenzie. I play Fair Naref. This session's been a ton of fun, and I'm excited for next time, but Farron's also not super built for like actual battle. Like I it's just a tiny little guy. Like
just a little guy.
Just a little guy. I am excited for next time, but also if that's our last session, a little bit sad that it's the last session. It's been so much fun to play with you guys and be here.
Well, listen, I will tell you one thing, Mackenzie, and that is that you have shot immediately into like the top 0.01% of all D&D players on this thing alone. You've done a wonderful job this campaign, but
Amen.
Your first campaign you've ever done has been on stream, and you did a whole campaign start to finish. I cannot tell you how absolutely rare both of those things are, actually. So you have utter kudos and bragging rights throughout all of D&D. If you tell people that who really play this game, they will be amazed. And you've done an incredible job. Like, you're nothing to sneeze at in terms of your role play, and your character choices have been super fun. We've been glad to have you and hope to have you back in the future. So congrats on that. And you actually, all the rest of you will pass into that same, it's not your first game and stream, but everybody finishing a campaign, it's super rare. Like 99% of all D&D campaigns that start don't actually really end. So truly the elite here, folks. Anyway, Beast.
I am Beast. I played Raz Hiskers, the Tabaxi Valor Bard. And it gets more fun every time I do it. Thanks for hanging out. I love warfare. I love it. It's amazing. I dream in warfare rules. Thank you, Matt Colville and company. And I honestly may even be tempted by this to stream on Twitch just war. So who knows? If there's enough interest, shout loud so I can hear you. That's what I'm saying.
Excellent. Jesse.
I am Jesse, and I am accompanied by my very own Tabaxi. This is Beatrix. Yeah, it's Beatrix Lumgow. And she's a big old fat cat. All right, get out of here, silly girl. All right.
We'll be seeing Beatrix in the next episode.
We're just like slowly turning all of our cats into characters here.
Yeah. You can find me at Spectro Sofa, my channel where we do all kinds of stuff. Our long-running Naruto Abridged series is still going. And, of course, I am the Jokage of the Village Hidden in the Memes. So you may catch me there at any time, of course, once you're done checking out Pixel and Bonus Moms content all day, every day. Other than that, I am super excited to come back next section. Lots of fun tonight. Lots of great role play. I am surprised at how many of our hilarious NPCs survived. So Homer and his Stoma, and Varric, Derek, and Eric, and the rest of them. So, all right. Thank you very much.
Okay, can do. Excellent. And last but not least, Taylor.
Hi, I'm Taylor. Tonight was so much fun. I thought the warfare stuff was so cool, so different. That was awesome. I love strategy type gaming and whatnot. So that was just awesome. And of course, I play Enna, the Wood Elf cleric. So I'm super excited for next time. Let's go.
Very cool. Excellent. And of course, I am Pixel, your dungeon master. Tonight I was, I was a bunch of evil soldiers. I was Meowraya. I was Tringle the Treant. Who else was I? I was little Edmund, Lord Edmund Bedegar, and a whole host of other people. Also not shown tonight, I was Arrow and Sir Pelliton and all the townsfolk. I wear a lot of hats in this campaign, is what I'm saying. There's a lot of NPCs. And I'm very I was Gear. How can I forget Gear? One of my own actual PCs that played through this adventure when Bonus Mom ran it for us. And the GM. So I'm also, the swords and the air and the dirt in the sky and the blood on the fields and the fire in the fields and the whatever else, and the laws of physics.
But the piss is only for me.
I am not the piss. Thank you. And you can find me here. Actually, unlike Jacob, you already found me. Here I am. You've done it. Congratulations. Not only can you find me, you already have. Here we are. We stream D&D every Friday night here, Ages of Ainor. Next week, guys, it's going to be the super exciting 8th episode of Curse of Strahd with our good buddy Vincent Page. You can check him out here on Twitch as well as Omega and some other friends. Bonus Mom will be in that, and we are at a super crucial point getting hooked into that campaign. They have just met Ismark the Lesser. Everyone thirsted over him heavily in chat, and they are about to find out more about Strahd and the whole deal of what's going on in Barovia. So that is very exciting. Please stay tuned for that next week. That will be going on at 8 p.m. Eastern time. You can also find me here on Twitch now at twitch.tv/hammerandpixel, where I stream video games. We've been doing Dark Souls. We've been doing Minecraft. I do, we do Final Fantasy. We do
Fall Guys.
We do a bunch of different stuff over here. And I also sometimes talk about, philosophy and economics and, dare I say, even politics and a whole bunch of other crap that you really shouldn't talk about as a streamer, which is why I keep it in a whole separate little category from over here. I don't really want to cross the streams, but, and we just hit affiliate over there, which is super exciting. I've got my first emote hopefully on the way soon. Although we are using some of these. Anyway, so that's all there. You can find all of that as well as these episodes. If you missed any of tonight and you're just finding us and you're like, oh my God, they seem like cool people. They're so funny and all their quips are amazing. But I've missed the last 3 hours and 40 minutes of this broadcast and have only just now found them. I don't know how you did it, but congratulations, you're here. And you can go watch all the rest of it on YouTube. Where you can see all of our back episodes, or if you are always watch us and you had to step away and you missed important parts of the episode or whatever, you can find those back episodes and they will be there cataloged for you in perpetuity so that you can relive our wonderful adventures with these exciting folks anytime you want. So that's all of that stuff. We are going to raid Hidden Mystique, I believe. This is the only suggestion I got, so we will go ahead and go with that. They are playing Call of Duty, I think. So that should be fun and interesting. Very different from D&D. So everybody have fun with that. And as I leave you, we are going to do our usual thing here. And I am going to say thank you guys so much for hanging out for us with this unbelievably silly thing that we do. Extra silly tonight. It means more than I can really say that you guys are interested in what we're doing and watching the show and hanging out with us. As always, you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, as well as in Discord if you're interested in becoming part of our little circle of folks who love TTRPGs and D&D. We run open, kind of public-facing games of D&D. We have about 20 GMs in there who run games from time to time, including Beast and myself, when we can. And so that's very exciting. If you want to play more D&D, you don't have enough in your life, and just watching streams isn't doing it for you, you can come hang out, and there will be signups kind of every week or so for games that are playing at various different times. And if you want to run games, you can also do that. So very exciting stuff. If you've got ideas for games you want to run and no players to run them for, please come to our Discord and we will try and help you with that. And of course, as always, I just want to leave you with a final request from me to you. Until the next time that I see you, please do me a favor and just be a little kinder to yourself than you think you deserve, because I promise it still is not close to being more kindness than what you actually deserve, friends. So good night. We're going to raid Hidden Mystique. Please stick around for that raid. Send them the Ages of Ainor raid. We are going to, I guess, pop maybe this one today. So please throw that raid message in chat when the time comes. And we will see you with all these lovely people again in 2 weeks. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Let me tell a tale of a world where heroes walk among us, fighting through the darkness left by monsters and by selfish men. A tale of glory rent asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. Let me sing a song of a family forged by trials and woe. On their own they falter, but together they will write their own tale of glory rent asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they Pull